The Prentice Alsop Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
And this portion of the show brought to you by the law offices of John Day, providing superior legal representation to injury victims and their families. You can find out more contacting johndaylegal.com. John Dinkins with you this morning, and Josh Bugg joins us. He has faced the elements, he's gone through it, and he has arrived here. Not only arrived, he's arrived on time, even early a few minutes. So we appreciate it, Coach, and it has been an adventure the last 5 to 6 days.
Yeah, for sure. We all anticipated it. I don't know if we anticipated it sticking this long. Yesterday was the first day I got out of the house, so it was nice to get out of the house though, because my wife was like, "All right, you can go. Bye."
We don't worry about risking injury at this point. We're ready for you to get out of here.
Yeah, she's like, "Don't take my car." That was her instructions. I said, "Yes, ma'am."
Well, I know today we're going to talk probably more about weather than we are sports, really, but. You were lucky. You were in a bye week at the time, so rescheduling for you is not going to be quite as difficult as it is for everybody else.
Yeah, so we had that Tuesday was our district bye. You know, when you have 5 teams, you know, one person's going to have that a couple times in the month of January. But luckily for us, you know, we only have the one game to reschedule, and I think everybody else is in a little different scenario. Some of them may even have to cancel some of their non-district games to make sure that they get it in.
Now, when you think about rescheduling, is that going to be, I guess you have to just find a day and insert it somewhere on down through the month or something like that?
Pretty much. You know, the coaches can talk about it, but the admin of the host school is going to, you know, have that final say. And I believe that we've picked a day for the Oakland game. We haven't finalized it yet, but I assume it's going to be played on a Monday. Not this coming Monday, but maybe the following one. And
district tournament starts, you know, in February, so it's not a lot of time, isn't it?
Yeah, we got 3 weeks left. I'm excited for our girls. I was talking to an older official the other day, and he's like, "You're just waiting on 1 or 2 kids to step up." And I feel like we're closer than it appears.
Mm-hmm.
If we can get that ball to go in the hole down the stretch, you know, I think it's going to be fun for our girls because they're excited. So.
Yeah, when you think about the weather, it's got to be nerve-wracking for a coach because you're sitting there going, you know, we're pretty much immobile. We can't do anything, and you know you have to get permission to practice. Even the weather hasn't even cooperated enough to even attempt because you know parking lots and that kind of thing are still pretty rough.
Yeah, so it's just, you know, it's so funny because we create these calendars and we think we have control, and then you know we always have to make adjustments. But you know, we still don't have permission for other county schools to practice. I did go up to the school yesterday. The main roads are fine, but the parking lot looks like an ice rink. So I'm not going to anticipate us being able to practice until probably tomorrow. You know, hopefully Monday. And some people think we may even be out of school on Monday, but you know, it's just something that you don't have control of, and just reminds you how human we are.
It's almost impossible to schedule. I know some teams probably attempted to practice yesterday, but then they had that little front come through, and then another little coating of snow on there made it pretty much impossible. What do you do? I guess I'm asking you what kind of person you are. Is it nerve-wracking for you not to be able to? I'm sure it is. I mean, but what does a coach do in a situation where you're stuck at home?
Well, it's tough because, you know, outside of the dead period, I mean, you know, we go all year, you know, from spring and summer with your high school teams. And I do a lot with travel basketball. I have for 10 years. And, you know, we can kind of plan on that dead period, and we have vacations. But when you're vacationing at home and there's not a lot necessarily for you to do. Me personally, I exercise. We have a gym in our garage. We've got a treadmill. We've got place to do bench press and squat and things like that. Spend a lot of time watching film, filling up notebooks with ideas, and just communicating with your kids, just checking on them, seeing if they're all right. So,
and I guess too, they're trying to do some things individually just to kind of stay in shape at all possible, I guess.
Yeah, I know a few of them went out to the MTSU women's game the other night, which was good. So they got out and got that interaction. And I know several of them are trying to get into a gym anytime they can. And I texted them yesterday. I said, "Sorry, ladies, you know, we're not allowed to practice again and I got the thumbs down. So
I would imagine they're probably going a little crazy because I mean here they've just worked in the summer and except for dead period they've been working almost year round, and then all of a sudden for it to be completely stopped, I guess it drives them nuts too.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting, just coming in this year and just kind of changing the culture. And people use that word lightly, but it's a tangible thing what we're doing. Even from just the amount of times we've been to the weight room just this first 5 months of the year, when you're used to working out and you're used to doing these things as a team, and then it just stops. It's kind of weird. But we've got a good group chat, and I know they have their own group chat, and they say stuff in there that is kid related, which is fine. But we communicate and we're connected. And I think that's the biggest thing as you get into this final stretch of district play.
And one other question, I guess, about weather. I know I pick up a few pounds while we're sitting here hibernating, and which is pretty easy for me. But I guess you have to kind of tell them. Do you? I mean, say watch what you eat and that kind of thing. And
yeah.
Because you're going to have to be right at. I mean, there's no boom, we're at it again.
Absolutely. And, one thing I'll do is just share with them. So, like, if I do a run or something, I'll share, like, a screenshot of it.
That's a great idea,
and say, hey, you make sure you stay active. I remember during the COVID time, we would actually have, scheduled, I guess they're called Zoom meetings. We were using a different software at the time, but it's basically a Zoom meeting. When you can anticipate that, you can schedule those things in, but, all the kids didn't necessarily have their laptops. So, really just communicating on cell phones.
Yeah, and during that time, it wasn't like you didn't have to shut down completely. You could run. You could go out and do a couple of miles or whatever, but it's crazy. When we last talked to you, you had a loss to Blackman and a win over Lead Academy. And tell us about the win, because I know you have played in some games where, to me, looking at Riverdale, it's like one quarter that hurts you, or it's a little stretch of time that hurts you. Then the rest of the time you're playing right with them. It's really crazy. I know. I don't need to tell you that.
It's for me. I have to try to put a positive spin on it for myself, but more importantly for the players. But they're so much improved, and I can name several examples. But one player that really sticks out in my mind is Cheyenne Clymer. This is a kid that's a rugby player at our school as well. And she's kind of been –
She's post, right?
Yeah, she's a post player. She transferred over from Rockville. She was there when the school opened, and so she didn't really play last year. And then this summer, I kind of gave her some grace, and she missed some of our summer stuff. But really, now that we've got into our season, she's getting so excited, and just to watch her improvement. Use the Blackman game as an example, and I'm not trying to compare her to the Dunbar kid. I think that's her last name, right?
Right.
But she played very well against her. She had, 2 or 3 blocks. She pulled in 6 or 7 rebounds and scored 7 points. And, for us, we want to celebrate those little things. And consistency is hard, but that is something that we're teaching our kids as a core value in our program. And I was listening to something, success just does not show up. It's a byproduct of the things that are taking place beforehand. And so we're doing the right things. Our kids are bought in. They're excited. They're watching film. They're working hard. They're excited to get back into the gym. And, I really see a kid like Cheyenne Clymer being big for us down the stretch because, when she controls the inside the way she did, it makes it easier for our guards. And the guards in our league are tough enough.
She's extremely physical, too. I mean, she is that presence that you really need to have. Like you're talking about the block shots and the rebounds. And she does so much, whether she does anything offensively or not. She is a presence underneath there defensively.
Yeah, and you really can't teach that. And it's hard. But she's very physical, and I think the fact that she is a rugby player, we talked about the importance of embracing multi-sport athletes and our team vision. And it's definitely important for where we're at right now. But she brings that onto the court, and we're really proud of her. But not just her play on the court, but, just the type of person that she is. And it's not just her. We've got a whole team full of kids that are just great young ladies. And, we want to measure their success on the scoreboard, but we're really measuring this group with where they're going to be 5-10 years from now.
I want to mention one other young lady, Waller. My description of her is she's got so much talent, she doesn't know how to control it yet. Does that make sense? I mean,
we've got a little joke, me and her. I look at her all the time. I say, all right, look at me. I make her look, and she goes, yes, sir. And I'm like, you run this. And she was like, I do. I was like, yeah, you run this. I said, once you figure it out, like, you're going to really run all this. I was like, you're in control. I said, not me, not those officials. But she's just so athletic. She's very gifted. I said this when I first took the job and I realized we had her in the program and she was a young player. I was like, if you were to draw a high school basketball player, it's her.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's athletic. She's got long arms, long legs. Her speed is tremendous when it comes from just baseline to baseline and burst of speeds. But she's really kind of taken over that point guard role from Nora Haney, and she's scoring the ball a little bit better. I think she's averaging 10 points in her last 3 or 4 games, which is big for her. And so we need to see her be consistent with that.
Kind of frees up Nora, too, to do some other things than rather bring the ball up the floor, you know.
And I just think the more she watches film and the more experience she gets, playing good guards like, a Kaylin Flowers and a Lyric from Blackman, it's just great experience, because a year from now she's going to be going into her junior year and she still have 2 years ahead of her. And once we can help her figure out the defensive end and really just how to position her body and how to read, passing lanes and stuff like that, I just think the game will become easier to her. And that's where we've struggled a little bit. There's been like 7 or 8 minutes that's been a stretch, maybe one quarter in a game where we've just been really defended very well from the other teams, whether it's a Shelbyville or a Blackman. But she has that ability as an individual player to be an elite defender and a floor general, and that's what we're trying to coach her up to do and be right now.
That win over Lead Academy, that's always big. Just to kind of get that feel of winning again. You get into a little bit of a losing streak, and then boom, you got to win. That's important, isn't it? Yeah,
it's important. You got to take the good with the bad. And life is like a roller coaster. It's full of ups and downs, and we are proud of our kids because we've eclipsed more wins than they had last season, and we've still got 8+ games left.
Yeah.
And so, we're optimistic. We went over to Siegel. Siegel's scored the ball pretty well all year. They've got some good wins. Went and scouted them against Rossview, and, we're winning at halftime.
Yeah.
And it's just that third quarter that really hurt us. But, if you compare that to last year and you look at the excitement we have with the rest of our district games, like, we really feel like we have a chance to win a couple here. And that's our plan.
You got Rockville and Siegel this week, right? If weather permits and everything goes well.
They're both home games. Tuesday will be Rockville. Friday will be Siegel. It's homecoming week. The kids been out, so I'm sure it's going to be an interesting week from a teaching and coaching standpoint. And Rockville's talented.
Yeah.
They're going to play a 2-2-1 back into a 2-3, and that freshman point guard they got is really talented. We're just watching a lot of film and just getting ready at this point mentally.
Well, Josh, I appreciate you coming out this morning and battling the elements to get here, and just good luck this week and the rest of the way, because I guess I won't talk to you again until we're in district play probably, or region maybe. I don't know how long it is, but good luck the rest of the way.
I appreciate it.
All right, that's Josh Bugg, the head coach of the Riverdale Warriors. When we return, we're talking to Lonnie Drayton, Smyrna High School, as we continue with the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner. This portion of the show brought to you by Last Kansas Feed Supply. If I can keep my voice, locally owned and operated by Coy and Jennifer Young, specializing in animal feeds, premium pet foods, farm supplies, and more. We'll be back.
Stickers, labels, we do a lot of direct mail, booklets, manuals, programs. My name is Jeff Carlton. I handle sales and marketing for Franklin's Print Works here at Murfreesboro. We are at 2227 South Park Drive. Franklin's Print Works has been in Murfreesboro for over 25 years. We are a full-service commercial printer. We offer everything from business cards to brochures, booklets to banners, everything in between. Our website is franklinsprinting.org.
Winners Trophies can help you with customized awards for any occasion. Owner Kelly Hockenberry continues to provide awards for sports teams, churches, recognition awards, and more. Call Winners Trophies at 904-6002. That's 904-6002 for the best in quality, service, and pricing. You can also email Kelly, winnerstrophy@comcast.net. That's winnerstrophy@comcast.net. Any award for any occasion. Winners Trophies, 904-6002.
We're at Rick's Barbecue on Warrior Drive, talking with Anne Marie Brents.
When people walk in and they're like, tell me what's good, I usually tell them the loaded baked potato, which is a fully loaded potato with the butter, sour cream, cheese, bacon, and chives, and then we put meat on top of it.
At Rick's, they use the largest potatoes you can find.
Every Tuesday we run a special on the loaded potatoes. We call it Tater Tuesday, and we sell a lot of potatoes.
Barbecue, smoked chicken, ribs, they've got it all at Rick's Barbecue, 212 Warrior Drive, and online at ricksbbq.com.
Each team knows which play can be the winning move. I'm good neighbor State Farm agent Celeste Middleton, and I'd love the opportunity to talk to you about combining your home and auto insurance. Call me at 615-895-2700, and I can save you time and money.
So what if your roommate decides to microwave a metal mixing bowl and sets your apartment on fire? I'm State Farm agent Andy Wommel. Auto, renters, frankly, any kind of insurance. I've got your back. Call me at 615-890-0850.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
This portion of the show is brought to you by Mullins Jewelry, a family-owned and operated business treating clients like family since 1938. Jewelry design, repair, and a wide selection of great jewelry pieces. Online at mullinsjewelry.com. And John Dinkins back with you, and I'll be here for the next two interviews. And we have Lonnie Drayton, the head coach of the Smyrna Bulldogs, with us. And the Lady Bulldogs, Lonnie, just like everybody else, kind of in limbo right now.
Oh, yeah. It's been an interesting week. I'll say the most on that. Very interesting.
And I'm going to ask every coach the same question. You know, you go full force, and it's almost a year-round thing. You've got softball as well, but right. You go full force, and then all of a sudden, boom, you're shut down. You know, what do you do with yourself? Because I'm telling you, that's kind of hard on a coach, I would think.
It really is. It really is. You this week, I mean, you really didn't have very many options to do anything. It was a sit and eat and watch different things that you probably wouldn't normally watch. That, you know, it's probably a little embarrassing to tell people what you were watching, but you know, I was some of the TV that's on during those times are unbelievable. But you actually do get to watch a lot of game tape. You get to watch a lot of basketball being played on, you know, on the college level, especially in the pro level. So I got to catch up with a lot of sports, and you know, sit and talk to the girls. Kept calling.
Yeah. Because they're going through the same thing. They've been going at it. They like routine. Everybody likes routine, and then you're out of that routine. They've probably been calling you all the time, trying to figure out, well, when we're going to practice, coach, or whatever.
Oh yeah, yep. And I mean, they were. It's sort of funny because a lot of the girls, they were like, Coach, is there anything we can do, like go to, can we, I know we can't go to Smyrna to practice or shoot, but can we go to Sportscom or something? I was like, I've seen you drive when it's not in the ice on the ground. Stay your butt at home.
Yeah.
and do some crunches or something, or dribble outside if you can shovel a little area off. But no, do not drive anywhere to try to play basketball.
Well, we haven't had this kind of snow probably in years, really, that it was just so much, and then got so cold. That's the worst case nightmare for basketball season. Now you have to regroup, and then when soon as everybody's given permission to play, bam, you're back in it, and I'm being back in it hard. And then you got to worry about, have they gotten out of shape or that kind of thing. In a week's time, it's probably not that bad, but still, you got a little bit of concern there, I guess, wouldn't you?
Oh, it's huge. I mean, the fact of it being so cold and, you know, almost not being able to go outside and run, or, I mean, it's absolutely too cold. And a lot of our kids, you know, they don't live in, you know, huge houses, so there's no way to really run upstairs. You know, I've got girls that live in apartments and different things, and, you know, for them they really aren't at the luxury of being able to, stay in shape. And that, honestly, it's funny that you said that. That is my biggest worry right now, because the only style, if you've watched us play, we're really, really little. I mean, really little. We lost all our size last year, and the only style we can play is to press you. And, we've really worked hard on getting that since July. Worked hard on having the girls in that mindset of, we're going to run. We've got to press people. We've got to go, 94 feet, and we have to do it for 32 minutes. It's not even if you watch us play, we very rarely sit back in the half court defense or half court situations, because we know once the team gets us in half court, they're all bigger than us, and they could just pound it inside on us. So we have to stretch the court, and in order to stretch the court like that, you have to be in a different type of shape. You have to be able to run. You can't be tired. You can't, because my biggest thing is when you get tired, your brain is the first thing that goes.
Mm-hmm.
You lose that focus. When you get tired, it's easy to say, I don't need to go out there. I can sit right back here, and there you go. That's an open layup or a wide open three.
So what do you do? Do you ease them back into it, or do you go you got to kind of get them in shape? I mean, kind of back where they were, and you have very little time to do it.
Yeah, we really don't have any time. I mean, we play on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
We play. We've got Stewart's Creek on Tuesday, and we haven't practiced really since the last time we played Stewart's Creek, which was not a very,
mm-hmm.
not a very good situation for us. And the worst thing about that is I don't know how many adjustments, that we can make in that time frame. It just stinks as a coach, having to go in there without feeling prepared. And there's no way for our schedule this week. I mean, we've got Stewart's Creek, we've got Lebanon on Wednesday, Stewart's Creek on Tuesday, Lebanon on Wednesday, and Wilson Central on Friday. With that schedule, not Wilson Central on Friday. We got Laverne on Friday. So, but with that schedule right there, that's a lot of games. That's a lot of games back to back to back.
We're talking to Lonnie Drayton, the head coach of the Smyrna girls, and Lonnie, when you look at it, do you hope to practice maybe Sunday? Has that been discussed, or is somebody there kind of in the administrative end of it that's saying, okay, you can do this then, or is it just still wait and see?
Yes, really wait and see. We're getting the, and it's every coach in Rutherford County. We're getting it from, the big boss.
Yeah,
Mr. So, and it's a phone call, and you'll wait to see. But I would be honest with you, I completely am on board with those kids not driving and getting to practice and those.
Mm-hmm.
The practices aren't, I drove by Smyrna High yesterday, last night. Me and my wife went to, and this is one thing that's a positive. We went to I've never been to the Ryman, never wanted to go, and we went to I went to the Dolly Parton.
Yeah. You got to do something what normal people do.
Exactly. And I was like, you know what? I sort of like that. That was pretty cool. So I was the only guy without the, cowboy hat in there, but it was pretty cool. It was awesome. But
so
we drove up Smyrna High, and it is completely ice.
Yeah.
The whole parking lot. And so even if we could practice Sunday, I probably wouldn't.
Yeah.
Because we can't.
Well, in my old principal days, I used to go out there and try to shovel snow and throw salt out there, whatever I could do to get it going. And you don't know what Mother Nature's going to do. The sun at 30 degrees Sunday may melt a lot of it, but I don't know that it's going to melt the parking lot that hasn't,
Exactly.
So it's a lot of things to consider. I wanted to talk just a minute here before I let you go. Your district is unbelievable. I mean, I was sitting there, and this is our first opportunity to talk, and I was looking at, gosh, he's in there with Stewart's Creek and Cookeville and Lebanon and Wilson Central. There ain't no easy ones, man.
It's maybe, for a young team, we were very competitive in the last district.
Right.
Which was completely understandable, but we, been to the region the last 2-3 years in a row, out of that district, and was very, very competitive in it. And, we're in a district that maybe it could, top to bottom, be the best in Tennessee.
I wouldn't doubt that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Cookeville, we went to Cookeville, and that was we went an hour and 30 minutes, and honestly, that was one of the best teams I've ever seen, top to bottom, and they were just fast, and they were, our fast wasn't close to their fast, and we're pretty fast.
Yeah.
Their fast was big and fast. Our fast was little and slower than their fast. So it was, it's just impressive how loaded this district is. And, I mean, it's an eye-opener. It's tough, and, just trying to keep our kids encouraged and fighting and showing up. I mean, the resiliency, I say it all the time, the resiliency of this group, these kids right here, because a lot of people, can't drive an hour and a half, lose like we did, and then come to practice the next day and expect, and ask the question, Coach, what can I do to get better? What can I do not to make this mistake? And I'm telling you, you can't. I mean, I don't care who you are. You won't find kids, that are resilient to that point right there.
Yeah, and that's some of that credit goes to you. And but I'll tell you what, it's an amazing thing to watch. Girls that want to play, good things happen to them in the end. I mean, it may be a struggle early, but a lot of it for you, I guess, is patience, isn't it? I mean, you've got to be patient.
You do, and it's frustrating because there's good luck finding a coach that's as competitive as me. That wants to win like I want to win at everything. And you have to learn that, and with good. I attribute a lot of it to, our administration, Dr. Sutherland. She's great as far as, hey, stay in it. I'm happy you're the one leading the program. And, with that kind of thing, if you're frustrated as a coach and you have your principals telling you to do, keep tugging, keep pushing, it's a great thing.
Well, she's one of the best, that's for sure. And what she's done for the gym and the school and everything else is just amazing. One of the prettiest schools in Rutherford County for sure.
It is. It really is.
You got a couple of tough road games this week, and I hate to bring it up to you, but Stewart's Creek on Tuesday, Laverne on Friday. And, Lonnie, that all kind of depends on, is there a possibility you might not play on Tuesday, or is that going to happen if we get clearance to practice or play?
Yeah, I think we will, just because we've already got to find a backup game, already. So I don't know. I think we'll be able to play. Yeah. But, we gotta get them in quick right now.
Well, nothing like a road trip with about an hour worth of practice. You know what I mean?
That's right.
But I guess the good news is they haven't practiced either. So,
exactly.
There you go. Lonnie, always a pleasure, and be safe out there, and hope you get to play and get to practice here in the next day or two.
Hey, I appreciate it. Y'all take care.
All right, that's Lonnie Drayton, the head coach of the Smyrna girls, and they've got Stewart's Creek and Laverne coming up this week. This portion of the show is brought to you by Ida's Tees, who'll be happy to help you fulfill all of your imprinted apparel, embroidery, and advertising specialty needs. You can find out more at idastees.com. Coming up next, it's Blackman basketball with Jennifer Grandstaff here on the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner.
First National Bank of Middle Tennessee is dedicated to our community. Hi, I'm John Dietrich, Senior Vice President and Commercial Banker at our 1708 Gateway Boulevard location in Murfreesboro. Let me help you purchase, finance, or build with local people and local decisions. As a lifelong Murfreesboro resident, I'm committed to our town and your financial needs. Look us up at fnbmt.com. First National Bank of Middle Tennessee, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC, NMLS number 401715.
Dr. Russell McKissick of Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance talks about the grassroots effort in our local schools to ensure proper care for players.
To make sure our teams are covered here locally, be there for our trainers. Yeah, it's a passion that we have to try to take care of our athletes here in town and be there just to keep everybody playing as healthy and as best they can.
From a community standpoint, one of the most important things you do at TOA, I'd guess.
I think it's definitely a way to pay back to our community, just to be there for them and watch some great sports too.
Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance, TOA, live your best life. How about a fix for your sweet tooth? Donut Country is open 24 hours a day to cure your cravings. They've been serving up the freshest donuts in Murfreesboro since 1978. There's just something different about donuts from Donut Country. Bo and Cindy Davis and their wonderful staff will greet you with a smile, and you'll see all donuts aren't created equal. Fresh donuts anytime you want them 24/7 at Donut Country on Memorial down from Clark. And they're open each morning on Middle Tennessee Boulevard. Check out their Facebook page for specials and promotions. Nothing else compares to Donut Country. Open 24 hours.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
And this portion of the show brought to you by Sir Pizza, whose 3 Murfreesboro locations offer a huge selection of mouth-watering pizzas, sandwiches, pastas, and wings. You can order your favorite pizza online at sirpizzatn.com. John Dinkins back with you, and I have the pleasure of talking with Coach Jennifer Grandstaff of the Blackman Blaze. And, Coach, it seems like it's been a year since I've had an opportunity to talk to you, and I'm glad that we finally got to have another conversation.
Yeah, it's always good to talk to you, John, but it has. It's been a good year.
Yeah, and the other 2 guys have had the opportunity, but I'm getting you, I think, at a good point, because I saw Maston and Flowers in the lineup at the same time the other night. And that may be the first that we've had that in since the year started.
Well, it's actually the 3rd game that they had the opportunity to play together. So yeah, I'm thrilled that they're both back and healthy and able to to get on the floor together. So hopefully we can continue that. So just keep your fingers crossed. You never know. I'm telling you, injuries, it can really set you back. So, but yeah, we're thrilled to have them both back in the lineup. So hope good things are going to, come for the Lady Blaze.
It has kind of caused a little bit of a slower start than I think you and others were thinking that it would be. But man, it takes a lot when you lose somebody as good as those 2 girls, and then you've got to play them back into shape, and you've got to play them back into getting passing with each other and making the right things. All those things kind of go into it. And so as we get into district play, which we haven't really had an opportunity to get into too much district play due to the weather, and I know I'm going to ask you the same questions I've asked the other 2 this morning. What have you done, or can you do anything, or have you just driven yourself crazy? Those are the 3 options that you get.
Oh, let's see. Well, obviously this weather set us all back a little bit, but it's given us an opportunity to kind of watch a lot of film, get to know a lot about, your district opponents. And, that's pretty much how I've spent my last several days is just, I watched, Rottwell this day and got to watch Siegel a little bit yesterday, watched Oakland. So, yeah, just had a chance to kind of get caught up on what our district opponents are all about. Because to be honest with you, I haven't really watched a whole lot up until this week. So it's been beneficial, but it has been a little long and drawn out, to say the least.
Well, I'm driving my family crazy. They're ready for me to get out of the house, and so when you sit there, have the girls called you a lot? Because I would imagine that they've called trying to get things jump started too, and they have no power to do that.
No, we've really done a good job of communicating with our players, and every time we get a notification from our superintendent, and we're quick to just pass it along to our players, so we keep them up to date with what's going on. Sure, everybody's a little disappointed right now, but there's not much we can do about it. It's not like it's just us. It's countywide. It looks like it's pretty much statewide right now that we're all in a little bit of a setback. But our players are, they'll take it and make the most out of it when we're able to regroup and get back together.
Well, it reminds me, it could be worse. You could be in the middle of the state tournament. You remember that, yeah. Coach?
Oh yeah.
And but it turned out, as this will too, it turned out that was one of the greatest high school games I've ever seen between you and Blackman at the time when you weren't with Blackman. One of the greatest games I've ever seen, and the biggest crowd I think they've ever had at a state tournament game, and it was on a Sunday. Who would have thought?
It was. That's right. Yep, the snow kept us out. So, yeah, that was a great ball game. A lot of fun, a lot of good memories in that game.
Well, let me go over kind of what you've you had a win over York and lost to East Nashville, then a win Friday night, and that's when everything kind of shut down. That was at Riverdale. So you really haven't just barely tiptoed into district play right now. So, I mean, we've got a long way to go.
Yep, long way to go. Got to make up several games, looks like. So, we're just anxious to kind of get back in the gym and get things rolling for us. But, I was pleased with how we played at Riverdale. It's just good for, our players, for Flowers and Maston to get to play together and just get in sync with each other. And now we're set back again for another week. So, hopefully we'll be able to get in the gym on Monday, be able to play. I think we have Siegel on Tuesday, and we have a makeup game scheduled with Oakland on Thursday, and then we have a bye again on Friday. So, I don't know. I don't know how it'll go. It doesn't look like it's going to improve much in the next couple of days. So I'm curious to see if we can get to practice and even get back in school next week. So.
Well, I wanted to ask that when you've got a week off and you've not been able to do. I mean, this is one of those weather events that you can't get out and do a run. I mean, it's not like a day that's even beneficial to even do anything because you could get yourself hurt.
Right.
Maybe get on a treadmill or that kind of thing. But kids, that's pretty hard to supervise from a phone. I mean, I guess the good news is everybody else is in the same boat. Right.
Exactly. Yep. That's kind of how we look at it. It's unfortunate, but it's not just us. As I mentioned before, it's across the board in our district. Looks like a lot of places are in the same boat, just in the shutdown mode. The thing about our kids, man, we got a lot of basketball junkies that, they just don't come to the gym when we open it up. I mean, our players will find a gym that they can get into. They'll go to a rec center. So I feel confident a lot of them have been able to get somewhere and get some shots up and try to, stay physically and, shape as much as they possibly can. There's a different game shape and just shape. So hopefully it's not going to set us back too far, but, we just got to roll with it.
Jennifer Grandstaff, our guest. Jennifer, when you start play, which is going to be, it's going to be boom, and you're back playing. I don't care if you get one practice or none. I mean, I guess Tuesday, if schools are in, you're playing, right?
Right. As far as I know, that's we haven't discussed that scenario as of now. We've discussed a lot of them, but we haven't gotten to that point. If we're not in on Monday, will we still play on Tuesday? If we are in school on Tuesday, I mean, I really don't know how it'll go. I haven't spoken with Mr. Lawless about that yet, or Coach Wortman. So I don't know. A lot of scenarios. We'll just have to wait and see. What's going to happen.
It might change the game plan a little bit, wouldn't it? Maybe play a few more girls, maybe in just a minute or two, just to kind of get everybody their breath, maybe. Or am I overemphasizing this too much?
No, definitely. I was thinking that as well. We're going to have to play a lot of players. Kids are just going to be out of shape. It's going to be a struggle. So yeah, I would think we'd have to go 8, 9, maybe 10 deep. Just to give kids breathers and get a break and so they can come back in and play at the level that they're used to playing at.
The good thing they're 16 and 17 years old, so that helps, I guess.
Right.
All right, now we've got these are home games on Tuesday and Thursday night, so these are big games coming up this week. Siegel, who have much improved. I mean, they're playing really well, and then you've got Oakland, who actually they beat Siegel, but they had a super game the week before. I mean, they're capable of playing really, really well too.
Oh, definitely. Oh, you look at Siegel, and I actually just watched them quite a bit yesterday, and they're so improved. Players that can make a lot of plays. They're just playing well together. So we'll definitely have our hands full. And then you look at Oakland, I think they were a little bit in the same boat as what we were. They had a lot of injuries early in November, December, and I think they're pretty much at full go right now. So that makes them extremely dangerous, when they get Phillips and they get pulled back in the lineup. So, I think our district's wide open. I think, we've seen so much improvement in everybody throughout in our district. So it's just one of those years that you've really got to be ready to play, bring your A game, or you're gonna get beat. So I think our players are aware of that, So, yeah, we got our hands full.
I feel like that that Blackman hasn't played up to their potential due mainly to the injuries and that kind of thing. and you want to play. You want to get going. Let's get through this district tournament. Get to this district tournament, and let's see what happens. Right?
Oh, definitely. I mean, shoot, I'll be the first to say, it's been unfortunate for us that we have been, we had Flowers out, and we had Maston out, and we had several other little injuries along the way. So I felt good Friday walking off the floor. I felt like we played well. We had good chemistry. Things were easy. We were clicking, and I thought we were going in the right direction. So, hopefully we'll be able to get back in the gym and pick up from where we left off. Because I think we were a little down. Our schedule was so competitive early, and we were on a full go. So we're anxious just to get the district season rolling, get into the district tournament, and see what happens.
Well, it's going to be an exciting district race, and it's just underway. Now, I'm going to ask you one question before I let you go, Jennifer. What have you binge watched during the snow? Okay, what's something you've binged that I know you watch a lot of tape, but somebody's talked you into watching something that you wouldn't ordinarily watched.
The Bear.
The Bear. That's a good answer. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yep.
That's a good one.
Watched it all.
Amen. Hey, you deserve a little time off too,
That's right.
Always a pleasure talking to you, Jennifer, and we'll talk to you in a couple of weeks, and good luck in these next 2 weeks or so.
All right. Thanks so much, John.
All right. That's Jennifer Grandstaff, the head coach who watched the Bear, really, and I'm excited about that. This is brought to you by Craig's Tax Service. This portion specializing in personal and business tax preparation, financials, and bookkeeping services. Find out more at CraigsTaxService.com. And now, Dalton, we get ready. The man is coming for the next few interviews. Yes, that's right. Brian Barrett, our weather meteorologist, is coming up to interview some coaches. Stay with us.
Quick, convenient, efficient. 3 words that we all hope to experience when we do business. Our goal at JHA Company is to bring just that to an industry that's traditionally dictated to the customer when it's time to do business. Whether you're purchasing class pictures in a yearbook, class jewelry, a letter jacket, school spirit wear, or senior graduation products, we strive to make the experience quick, convenient, and efficient. Find out more at jhacompany.com. JHA, your one source for an unparalleled scholastic experience.
This is a paid legal ad.
Hi, this is John Day of the Law Offices of John Day. I've lived and worked as a lawyer in Middle Tennessee for over 30 years, and to me, every single day has been an honor. That's why our firm is so involved with community programs like bicycle helmet giveaways and our Safe Ride Home program. At the Law Offices of John Day, we're not just looking to make donations. We want to make a difference in the community we hold so dear. And if you're ever injured, know that we are here for you too.
Hello, this is Coy Young at Las Casas Feed Supply. We would like to welcome you to our door and hope you find the customer service and expertise that exceeds your expectations.
Las Casas Feed Supply caters to all homeowners with a 1/4 acre to several acres, focusing on premium feeds and dog foods you won't find in box stores.
Nutrition is our specialty here at Las Casas Feed.
And yes, you can even get milk from the MTSU dairy at Las Casas Feed Supply, the best milk in town. Las Casas Feed on Barlow Lane, just off Highway 96 East in Las Casas.
If your job situation is changing because of layoffs or restructuring, you may have to make several decisions. One important decision may be what to do with your retirement plan. Make sure your retirement stays on track. I'm Lee Colvin, your Edward Jones financial advisor, and I'd like to help. Stop by our office in the Public Shopping Center on South Rutherford Boulevard or give us a call at 615-907-7056 for a face-to-face appointment. Edward Jones, Making Sense of Investing, member SIPC.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air.
Whether it's the blazing heat of summer or the bitter cold of winter, let the Rheem Pro professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Conditioning on West College Street keep your home or business comfortable year-round. We service all major brands and in most cases offer same-day service. Call us today at 615-890-1311. Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, your Rheem Pro partner heating and cooling contractor on West College Street, just under the Thompson Lane overpass.
When Rutherford Countyans think of insurance professionals, they think Rayburn Insurance Agency at 200 South Lowry in Smyrna, meeting the needs of thousands of customers since 1973. You can trust Rayburn Insurance with all your needs, a place where customer service really matters. It's personal with Rayburn Insurance, as fans of local sports, as friends, and as insurance professionals. Check them out at rayburn.net or call 615-459-4145. Rayburn Insurance, for business, auto, home, and life insurance.
The Prentice Alsop Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
We are back here on the Coaches Show, brought to you by State Farm agents Andy Womack, Bud Morris, Dana Womack, Celeste Middleton, Ron Reeves, and Emerson Williams. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Well, we are going to be talking some Laverne girls basketball this morning. Assistant Coach Michelle Burt joins us today. And, Coach, it's been, I guess, a little bit of time since we've had a chance to talk, so it's good to have a chance to catch up with you this morning. Hope you're doing well.
Thank you, Brian. It's good to catch up with you, and even more happy that I can stay in the comforts of my home and, and talk to you.
Yeah, stay in, stay warm, and it has definitely been an interesting time. It's been quite a while since we've lost a full week of school due to snow, I think.
That's true, and well, hopefully, if they were anything like me, I was always was the one first up and first out. So I don't know if they got to actually enjoy it, but I'm getting some cabin fever and ready to get back into school.
Yeah, there's only so much you could do outside, and it wasn't like snow and 30 degrees. It was snow and 0, so
Right.
it wasn't fit for even a polar bear. But I know that the schedule really took a hit as well, and part of the issue that I see that is creeping up with starting the district slate so late, which I think it's like the second full week in January, is there's not a lot of wiggle room in the schedule here to get in games. And let's see, you've got 2 district games to make up, looks like.
That's true. In fact, that might be something we want to consider in the future, is sort of splitting it up maybe before the Christmas break and maybe the second half at the turn after we come back. I don't know if that would be something some of the higher-ups, the administration, would be considering.
Well, I think on the boys' side of things, they're thinking football possibly and girls volleyball possibly, but I don't know. There's a lot that goes into decisions like that, and one of the decisions that's coming up is going to have to be, a 4-year cycle with district. And Michelle, I don't know that they could have put you all in a tougher girls district, especially. I mean, 3 of the teams are ranked.
True. I was listening to the previous coaches, and I'm in agreement that this might be one of the top districts in the state. And unfortunately, that's at our demise at times. But nonetheless, that also helps us and speeds up our improvement a little bit, and shows our girls what we have to do in order to compete. And it's just, we're having to go through the good or the bad to get to the good, and I guess these are lessons that we're having to learn, most of us at a freshman, sophomore age. But nonetheless, it's something that is going to help us in the long run, we hope.
Yeah, I did want to ask you. I meant to do this before I just got excited talking about the team. I wanted to ask about you, and you've been around the game for a long time. Of course, I remember your time over at Siegel as well. Kind of remind us where you've been, and you've been at Laverne for a bit now.
Well, no, actually, just since this is my first year.
Is it really? I thought,
yeah.
Okay.
Well, in a way, but nonetheless, been around the game. I started coaching when I was a junior in high school, and so we're in the 30s now as to how many years I've actually coached. But I was in Knoxville growing up, and so in the shadows of Pat Summit and visiting that camp every year, and and being around that game, Stokely was a friend. And unfortunately, Aunt Pat, as I'd like to have called her, looked elsewhere. So I did migrate down here to MTSU and got to play ball at MTSU, proud Lady Raider, and stayed here. I got my, along with several other degrees, my perhaps full-time one is my MRS degree, and I married a Smyrnite, so here I landed. And so I've been coaching pretty much, all of my adult life and then some. So started at Mount Juliet High School coaching. So I got to be around people. I mean, it's amazing the people that I have crossed paths with or competed against, or it's just has really blazed the trail for me. And started at Mount Juliet, and when Wilson Central opened, went there. At that point in time, by then, my husband was working nights and had 3 little kids he was having to worry about here in Smyrna, so I had to get closer to home and went to Smyrna Middle, which was, within walking distance. And by then, after about 10 years there, I ended up at Siegel and helping Alan Bush for multiple years there. And I mean, just the things that I've learned and picked up along the way. Last 2 years, I was at Mount Juliet High School. Some friends that beckoned me back to come back over there and help. And we've had some family medical issues within the family, and once again, I needed to get closer to home. And so grateful that I landed at Laverne High, and once again within close proximity of my home. And so that's where I've been since August, and just a blessing that I've had these opportunities along the way.
Well, I missed that second go around at Mount Juliet. So you've definitely seen some good basketball, been on some really great teams, and been a part of some really special times. And that means that you've seen a lot that's happened in the girls' basketball game, and the good, the bad, and so you bring a lot of experience there for Steve there with the Laverne program. And I know that there are some growing pains right now, but there are also some good things. And if these girls will kind of hang in there, being awfully young and in this tough district that you're in, things will improve and get better.
That's true. And, I think last year I was told that they relied upon several girls that have moved on, and it's sort of like a family in itself. Once your kids grow up and move on to college or whatever they choose to go to, the dynamics of the family changes, and some of those younger siblings have to take up the slack. And that's the same sort of situation we're having at Laverne. Those younger ones are now having to take on the chores of those older ones, and some of them are having to be retaught or taught, or how to operate, how to do these chores, like how do we handle the ball, how do we post up, how do we drive, and when to do so, and when to pass the ball, when to it's just a knowledge, and we're having to take the time to teach and reteach, and sometimes that is frustrating, and times it's with a lot of patience, as you all have previously said, but it's part of it and part of what I love to do. So we'll get there. We're already making tons of improvement, and people are saying it's night and day based upon last year. So I don't know if the girls can see it. Hopefully they are, but act like you said, if they can just hang in there, they'll see what they'll get the rewards for the work they put in.
Sure, absolutely. And if you're in this profession, obviously you're a competitor and want to win. And so understanding that, but this part of the game, the teaching part, and when you see a young lady get something that you've been working hard to teach, and that light bulb finally turns on, those are the moments that can be really special as a coach, because you are an educator, right?
Right. Well, that's what makes you come back the next day.
Yeah, and that's what makes it fun. I can see. Well, Michelle, it's been fun catching up with you this morning, and glad you're back here in Rutherford County and coaching. And I'm sure that we'll have a chance to catch up here real soon. And appreciate you pinch hitting for Steve this morning.
Sure, he has some things to do. I'm more than happy to fill in for him, but. Guys, we really appreciate it, and I know that you've done this for years, and we've always been grateful for what you do to support Rutherford County athletics.
Yeah, great to do that. Appreciate it, Michelle.
Thank you so much.
All right, that is Michelle Burke, assistant coach at Laverne High School, joining us on the Coaches Show, brought to you by the law offices of John Day. They've helped thousands of people get legal help when they've needed it the most. If you've been injured, call the law offices of John Day.
Head over to J. Mullins Jewelry to check out their selection of rings, watches, custom design jewelry, and much more. They're a local business located at 352 West Northville Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro. They have gifts for all occasions, weddings, graduations, anniversaries, whatever you need, you can find it at J. Mullins Jewelry. That's at 352 West Northville Boulevard or online at mullinsjewelry.com.
Craig's Tax Service.
We perform tax preparation, individual tax returns, corporations, partnerships, and all your payroll bookkeeping needs.
Brandon Craig with Craig's Tax Service.
We fulfill all your tax preparation needs, from individual returns to corporations, and handle any of those scary letters you may get from the IRS.
Craig's Tax Service at 142 Heritage Park Drive. Call 890-2233 for an appointment.
We're proud to support all Rutherford County athletes.
Craig's Tax Service, 890-2233.
Dr. Automotive is the cure for your car. Brothers Danny and Randy Brewer have been providing Rutherford County with ASE certified auto repair for nearly 20 years. You'll receive courteous and friendly customer service every time. Why? Because we grew up here, and you are our neighbors. Foreign and domestic auto repair and maintenance on Hazelwood Drive in Smyrna, just off I-24. SmyrnaAutorepair.com, 615-220-0971. Just ask for Danny.
Meet Little Caesars Thin Crust Pizza with toppings all the way to the edge and a crispy crust.
I love you, Cindy. Sorry, but that commercial voice guy was right. I only love thin crust.
Ouch, Billy. Put on your fancy pants and sashay into Little Caesars for the Fanceroni Pepperoni. With over 100 crispy old-world pepperoni and cheesy crust edge, you'll be saying fancy words like indubitably or crochet. Walk in and walk out for only $9.99.
Little Caesars in Murfreesboro on Memorial, Warrior Drive, South Rutherford, and Old Fort.
Pizza, pizza.
Parks Auction. We handle everything.
Whether you're buying or selling a home or whether you're buying or selling commercial property, the auction is just so much easier, quicker, smoother.
My wife and I sold our personal home. Parks Auctions helped us with that. The house brought about 20% more than we were going to ask for.
Visit our website at parksauction.com to learn more.
Hi there, 12 and a half now, $15.
Stan Vaught and the Parks Auction team are proud supporters of local high school and MTSU sports.
30, 30. Sold it to you.
If you need concrete work done, who would I call? Dan France Concrete. Here's why. He's local. He attended Walter Hill Elementary, Oakland, and MTSU. He served our community as a school resource officer for 9 years, and he's involved in the community.
This is Dan with Dan France Concrete, wishing all Rutherford County student athletes a great season. Study hard, play harder, and be safe.
Dan France Concrete is a licensed and insured residential and commercial concrete construction contractor serving Middle Tennessee. Check out danfranceconcrete.com online to see some of their work.
This is Primetime Sports, WGNS Murfreesboro, on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com. The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro, on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
We're back here on the Coach's Show, brought to you by Parks Auction Company. Let their experienced team of professionally trained staff utilize the auction process to sell your property. Find out more at parksauction.com. Joining us this morning by phone, Jessica Southern, the head coach of the Oakland Lady Patriots. And, Coach, how are you this morning?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Nice and warm and toasty, I would hope.
Yes.
Missing the girls, missing basketball too, I bet.
Yes, for sure. It's been an interesting week.
Yeah. So how has it been interesting for you? I know you want to play and trying to reschedule. Can you play? No, you can't. Can you practice? No, you can't. Lots of phone calls. I'm sure everybody wants to know. The girls want to know. Trying to get them doing something, watching film. So kind of walk us through the week that you had.
Yes, exactly those things. We knew the weather was coming. We knew we were going to miss a couple days. We didn't know exactly what it was going to bring. We knew the cold temperatures were probably going to extend it longer than expected. So just basically playing the waiting game, waiting to see if we were going to be able to practice or not practice or play. Like, it was basically a daily waiting thing. And still is really today. We would find out later this evening if we're able to practice tomorrow. So, like, every day it's kind of like the kids would ask, and I was like, I don't know until when I know I'll let you know. But still, there'd be one or two that would be like, hey, practice tomorrow. Hey, were we still playing on Saturday? Hey, what are we doing? So just really waiting just because we really didn't know until, the morning of or the night before, depending on the weather and the temperatures. And the temperatures are really, I believe, is what gotten us, not allowing, the snow and the weather and the stuff that came in to melt.
And that's the problem. And have you seen your parking lot? I mean, I've seen pictures of a few, and they've just been like ice covered. So is that the case at yours?
I went by there last night, and it's completely iced over. And even the side roads, not Patriot, but Oakland that runs from DeJarnette, it's bad, on both ends.
Yeah, that makes me concerned about even the first part of next week. So
yes,
because it's so cold. I think maybe we'll get just above freezing tomorrow, possibly for just a little bit of time, and the sunshine's going to help some. But I don't know. It's going to be iffy, and if this scenario works out, you may be able to get in school on Tuesday and play a game on Tuesday night, but doing that without any practice and being off for a week, no coach wants to do that, but that may be what's forced. I'm not sure.
Yes. As I said, it's just been interesting, we've had weeks like this in the past, but I think this one's a little more different just with not knowing until later or the day of, just with the shifting of the weather.
Yeah. Now, you've got what, so you've got a non-district game, the next game up?
Yes, it's our district bye week.
Okay.
So we've got Upperman coming on Tuesday.
So I guess that helps a little bit. That is a home game. So have you made any decisions on what to do with the Rockvale game and the I'm sorry, which games have you missed? I didn't have my schedule out here now.
Blackman and Riverdale.
Okay.
I think we confirmed those yesterday. And that's the other thing when we were talking about the week. We were kind of going back and forth on dates because they have dates rescheduled. They have dates that they've already, have filled. So just waiting to put the puzzle pieces together, I guess you could say.
Gotcha. So do you know the date of the Blackman and Riverdale games that you've rescheduled?
Yes, this Thursday we'll be at Blackman, and then next Monday, the 29th, we'll be hosting Riverdale.
Okay. That is good to know, and that's been the hot topic about what's going on. When are we going to play these games? And, we don't really need any more games to reschedule because that's going to make it tough. So let me just kind of go through this schedule with you. Tuesday, Upperman. Thursday, Blackman. Friday, Rockvale. Monday, Riverdale.
Correct.
Jeez, that looks like a postseason schedule to me.
Yes. And we canceled our Oak Ridge game today, and we aren't going to reschedule it.
Gotcha. I mean, it's a bunch of games in a row, but sometimes I think maybe we overthink that part of it. With kids and playing just back to back to back. I know as coaches you like to have the game time in between and whatnot, but the girls probably want to play, and they're pretty resilient, and they do it in the summertime, in AAU and such. So it's probably not that big of a deal.
Yes. I think for them, it's different for sure. On our side, it's different, I guess, both ways, I guess you could say. Them, they're going to play. We try to prepare them to play as far as game prep or practice or, try to prepare them for what, the other team's going to do or what we need to do, against them. But like you said, I think, especially after being off this week, I know I'm excited to get back in the gym. I'm sure they're excited to get back with it. And, even, losing, today's game, it's something that, we have to, deal with, with district taking precedence and just really shaping up the end of season, heading into the district tournament, into tournament play. So it's kind of a twofold, no, I don't really want to play, 4 games in 9 days or whatever exactly it is, but, that will prepare us for postseason.
We have Jessica Southern joining us this morning. We're talking Oakland girls basketball, and a great start to your district slate, Coach. 2-0 in the district, and you played a tough Rockvale team and got the win on the road. You actually got 2 road wins in the district, which is not easy to do. A 10-point win against Rockvale on the 9th, and then on the 12th, a victory over Siegel, 42-36, and that one was close throughout. And I tell you, Alana Poole has really started to come on here for you. She had 18 in the win over Siegel and 21 in the win over Rockvale, and it's not that we didn't think that Alana was a star player. It's that it's, just working back from her knee injury, and it took a little time, but boy, it seems like everything's just starting to click for her.
Yes, I'm definitely glad to have her back. I think she's excited to be back. Like when we started the return process, it was slow, just making sure that she was comfortable getting back with it just since she has been off for so long. So she's been back with us full since right at, Christmas. So she's only, let's see, I guess it's lots of games. This is maybe game 5 that she's played, full games, but really just getting back in the swing of things and, finding her feel for the ball and meshing with the team. And that's something that we've talked about just with injuries, since May, that, we haven't had our full team together, since we started spring ball. Just it was kind of like a swap this summer. There was a couple kids that we didn't have, which we missed her the first week or so of spring. We got her back like second week of June or so from another, I think it was a concussion from another injury. And we were missing a couple other people with foot, ankle things that we lost all summer. We got them back, and then we lost her, when fall happened. And then we kind of had a passing thing with another knee injury and one that, broke her hand. So I just kind of feel like collectively with, what we have, healthy right now, I feel like everybody's kind of finding their role and finding their fit and what we're trying to do.
Well, one of those that seems to be finding her role very well, I think, and is really giving you great minutes is, and on the defensive side of the ball too, Amaya Nash.
Yes. She's had a really good start to the year as well. I think it's kind of the same thing, just like we talked about with personnel. Like we have several kids that didn't play a ton last year, but are really, playing a lot this year for us. And she's one of those, and really learning and growing her game as well.
Coach, as we look at the date here on the 20th, and the last regular season game is on February 9th. The window here of the regular season is getting shorter and shorter, and so where we are in the season and where you've got to go. I mean, we've only played 2 district games, and so there's a lot of season to play in a very short amount of time. But I mean, the sky's the limit, it seems to me, for the Lady Patriots right now.
Yes, I really feel like our district is a lot tighter this year as far as across the board, as far as talent. As always, it's a battle night in, night out. But I feel like we're in a good place to continue learning and growing. And with the crunch of the weeks to come with the weather, I feel like you said, like district play tournament will be here before we know it. And we've just got to make sure that we're focused and taking care of what we're supposed to and ready to go night in and night out.
Well, it's one of those things too that you want to be there as long as you can be there, because it's going to be at your place, district and region.
Yes, we were talking about that the other day with the kids, the opportunity. Like we've talked about it earlier, I think, this season, but I don't know that everybody realized that we are hosting both of them. And they're like, wait, what? And I was like, yes, we'll be at home.
Won't have to travel far, and everything will be nice and comfy in your locker room and all that. So, well, Coach, appreciate you spending some time with us, and hope we can get to the big thaw next week and get some games in and get some practice in and get back at it. Appreciate you spending some time with us this morning.
Thanks.
All right, the head coach of the Oakland Lady Patriots, Jessica Southern, joining us here on the Coach's Show, brought to you by Dan France Concrete, a licensed and insured residential, commercial concrete construction contractor serving Middle Tennessee. That's Dan France Concrete.
Here's a question. What do you want from your electric co-op?
Fast response if the power goes out.
An app that keeps me informed. Tips to lower my monthly bill.
Communication on things that matter to me.
Done, 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 done.
I want to know everything.
Everything? Well, young lady, let me show you the MyMTE app. Energy Service Life. That's Middle Tennessee Electric. We're here to get done what matters most to you. Learn more at mte.com.
We're talking now with Heather here at Carpets by Osborne. Tell us what it's like to work at a family business.
It's a lot of fun. However, it's a lot of work. Everybody has to pull their weight equally.
What do you think are some of the advantages of people doing business with a family business versus a corporate business?
We are here to answer all questions. We're responsible for scheduling jobs. We're not here to sell you material and pass you off to a list of installers.
Carpets by Osborne on Northwest Broad, next to Tire World.
Whether you're a student, alumni, or just a fan, Raider Tees has exactly what you need to help you cheer on the Blue Raiders on game days and every moment in between. We sell officially licensed Blue Raider gear, whether it's clothing, hats, flags, chairs, or just whatever. We have it all, including exclusive gear you won't find anywhere else. Like us on Facebook for updates on new Blue Raider gear and special prices or discounts. For all your Blue Raider gear, shop Raider Tees today. Bigger, better, and go blue!
Pizza. You in a hurry for dinner? Well, we've made it even easier to order online at sirpizzatn.com. Tap the location nearest you and begin your carry-out or delivery order at sirpizzatn.com. You can choose from our full menu, and we'll take care of the rest. A Queen's Feast is calling my name. Order Murfreesboro's favorite pizza online at sirpizzatn.com.
Sir Pizza, you made me love pizza again.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air.
If your old unit needs a tune-up, the professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air service all major brands and even offer same-day service in most cases. Keep your home or business comfortable year-round. Call us today at 615-890-1311. Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, your Ring Pro partner heating and cooling contractor on West College Street, just under the Thompson Lane overpass. Online at PrenticeAllsup.com.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
We're back on the Coaches Show, brought to you by Rayburn Insurance Agency in Smyrna, an independent agency offering auto, home, business, and life insurance since 1973. Find out more at rayburn.net. Time to talk some Stewart's Creek Lady Redhawk basketball. Head coach Sloan Starkey joining us here in studio this morning. And, Coach, appreciate you coming in.
Brian Barrett, good morning.
Good to see you.
Glad to be here.
I guess it's just good to be getting out somewhere.
That's exactly what I was about to say. Yeah, I've been looking for every excuse in the world to get out of the house, so this is a blessing.
Now, are you used to snow and cold?
Not like this.
Yeah.
No, not like this. I don't think I've ever had a full week of snow ever. I don't think.
Really?
No, It's a little surprising to me.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed it, though.
Yeah, I mean,
a week's a little too long, though.
Yeah.
2 or 3 days, long weekend works, but a full week that's a lot.
And in the middle of basketball season and having to make up 2 games, and they're district games, and you got less than a month so you're going to have some 3 or 4 game weeks coming up, aren't you?
Absolutely. This week,
so you're going to get those in
here
quick?
I think we're going Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Maybe. I'm not sure about that yet. I'll have to double check that.
So have you rescheduled the Laverne and Wilson Central games? So when is the Laverne game going to take place?
So Laverne is February 5th. Let me pull my calendar up. Laverne is Friday, February 5th. And then Wilson Central is January 22nd. So was that Monday?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
Man, that's going to be something else. And the whole district slate, I mean, that's pretty much all you got going right now, isn't it?
Yep. We're in the midst of district play, so every opponent is district right now.
You played 2 games in the district so far?
We have, yep. Took one on the chin to Lebanon. That was Tuesday, January 9th. Had a tough game at Lebanon. Lebanon's a tough team, well-coached team. That was a frustrating game, man. We were in foul trouble the whole game. Had my top 3 players played half the game. So just could not get anything going. Got bit by the turnover bug. We had 30 turnovers. 30 turnovers, and man, there was another stat in that game that was just not good. But 30 turnovers, half, my good players, best players sitting on the bench half the game away. That's hard to win.
Yeah.
So, and I think we were up 2 at the end of the third quarter, and then just couldn't take care of the ball in the fourth quarter. So
lost that one by 10, and
ended up losing by 10. Free throws, I think, killed us as well. I think we shot like 30% from free throw land or something like that. So
to turn the ball over 30 times and to shoot 30% at the free throw line, I mean, you would expect the score not to be 10.
Right. Yeah.
And being on the road, it's not easy to play at Lebanon anyway. So, but to me, I mean, Lebanon's ranked.
Yeah,
Cookville's ranked. I think
Yeah.
Wilson Central's even ranked, maybe even. So it's not like you're in the easiest district either.
No, and in fact, just our just the season in general. Like my goal was to play the toughest competition that I could find, and I think we could check that box. We've played Bradley Central, who's ranked number 1. We've played McMinn Central, who's ranked number 2. We're playing Cookville, who's top 10. Lebanon, who's top 10. Man, there's a couple other hitters that I'm forgetting in there, but we've played some competition. I'm all here for it.
Yeah, I think Warren County's even in there.
Warren County's up there. Yep.
So, yeah, I guess you schedule is might as well, right? Might as well play that tough competition. It makes you better, right?
Yeah.
Well, so what does a coach do on a week? I've been around enough coaches to know that being caged up isn't probably the best for coaches. You have all this energy. You need to get out and be doing something. So what does a coach do when you can't practice, when you can't be around the team, and it's basketball season?
Well, we my wife and I created snowbird workouts. So we put together a little accountability spreadsheet for the girls. So they have workouts 3 times a day. Just something small. It's nothing major. It's 5-minute workouts. They do an exercise every minute for 5 minutes, and they do as many as they can. And they do that 3 times a day, morning, afternoon, and night. So in the realm of practice and getting better, that and assigning film, having them watch the film is about all you can really do.
Sure.
So that's about all I could do. That and watch golf is
watch golf, huh?
Yeah, I've watched a ton of golf.
Did you watch plenty of film as well?
Yeah, about as much as I can handle.
Yeah. So. Sometimes it's like, well, there's not much else to do, so you find yourself just getting into some project, and for a coach, I could see where film would be that, and just kind of diving into future opponents and district teams and stuff that you don't have a chance to look at.
I did get to see, I don't know if you've seen Wilson Central's introductions. But it is really cool.
Yeah.
Shout out to Wilson Central. They do a really good job with their introductions. They have projector lighting that lights up the floor. So essentially the floor, and the video that I saw was not real clear, so I'm excited to go play them at their place to see what it really looks like. But the floor basically lights up into a giant screen, and so they're projecting images onto the basketball floor, and it looks really cool. And then they got lighting all around the gym, so very well done at Wilson Central. Whatever they're doing over there is pretty cool.
So I guess you see the starting lineup, and you see the pictures and stuff like that.
I think it was a video, yeah. A lot of teams will do like a promotional video or hype video.
Yeah.
But it's normally on a board on the wall. Mm-hmm. I think theirs is projected on the court, which is big time. Yeah.
Pretty neat. Well, and we're seeing a lot more of that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Even on the high school level, and colleges have been doing that for a while, of course, the NBA and that kind of thing. But whatever it is to get kids excited about coming.
Exactly, yeah.
I was at I guess it was Siegel, and they're having a free throw shooting contest. And, the kitty is up to $500 next time, if you hit one from midcourt, something like,
When do they play? I can hit a free throw.
From midcourt? Well, it's not a free throw. It's half-court shot.
Yeah. Okay. That might be a little tougher.
Yeah, that is definitely a little tougher there. But, just trying to get kids out and involved and, so that's what it's all about.
You got to have fun. You got to make it fun for sure.
Well, season's been going well for you so far. And again, 1-1 in district play. Talk about some of your girls. I know Autumn Crick in the last game that you played wound up with 15 points.
Yeah.
And Jada Bernard had 18. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. 18, and I think she had a double-double. I don't remember the number of rebounds, but it was something like 18 and 14. And then she had a handful of blocks as well. So Jada's really coming into her own, man. I've really appreciated Jada Bernard. I've kind of taken her for granted a little bit. I've known that she's good, and I've kind of put my focus in other players where I know they need more of my attention. Whereas Jada Bernard, man, she's been playing basketball since she was tiny. I just saw a picture of her in I don't know, it was like kindergarten in a proper 5-on-5 game, and I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. And so lately I've just kind of been paying attention to some of the nuances and mannerisms that she shows, and she is a true basketball player, man. She's good. She's a good player. So I've learned to appreciate that. Raised incredibly well. Mom and dad just do a phenomenal job raising that young lady. As good as a basketball player she is, she's even better human being. So she's incredible. Autumn stepped up and had a wonderful game against Smyrna. And I'll tell you right now, if Autumn and Ashley take their game to another level, which they're capable of doing, we're going to be really good. Well, I mean, we're already good. But if they can contribute the way that they did on Friday night at Smyrna, yeah, we're going to be a problem. So shout out to the twins.
and Wilder wound up with 12 for you.
Yeah.
So that's going to be good. It's weird that was the last game, and you're going to turn around and play them on Tuesday.
Yeah, I know. We had to, even before the snow situation, we host the middle school tournament at Stewart's Creek, and so we had to shuffle some games around. So the fact that it just the way that it worked out, we kind of play Smyrna almost back to back, which is kind of a weird deal.
Yeah. So that is your next game up, and that's our next broadcast game as well.
Awesome.
So we're going to be out there to broadcast the games from Stewart's Creek when you take on the Lady Bulldogs, and looking forward to coming out for that. And it just seems like we've got less than a month, and you've only played 2 district games. This is going to go so fast.
It is, yeah.
It's just it's mind blowing to me that it's going to go this quickly,
fast and furious. Yep.
And shout out to your administration and whatnot. It's the parking lots at the schools and stuff. It's going to take a massive thaw.
Yeah.
Come Sunday. We need a lot of sunshine and a little warmer weather
just
tomorrow.
On the way here, it looks like things are melting. I think. I don't know. I'm not real great at that, but the sun's out, so
that's going to help.
It would be nice to practice tomorrow. That's for sure.
Yeah. About that, really need to be in school on Monday so you can get a practice in before Tuesday, right?
Yeah. Well, right now we're scheduled. I think we're scheduled. Did I say? Yeah, we're scheduled to play Monday. Wilson Central is Monday.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. But as I drove here, I got a text saying, would we change it to Wednesday? So, but yeah, we got to practice for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you hopefully would like to get in the gym tomorrow before you played that on Monday.
I think this would be the first time I ever have practice on a Sunday. Normally I leave Sunday alone, but this might be an exception if we're allowed to practice tomorrow.
Right.
So, yeah.
So you'd probably take them up on that moving to Wednesday if you aren't allowed to practice.
And y'all tell me when y'all want to play, and we'll show up and be there ready to play. Coming from my position in Texas, this rescheduling world was all on my plate. So it's nice to just kind of take the back seat and just say, y'all schedule them and we'll show up and play. So whenever they say to play, that's when we're going to play.
That's one less thing for you to have to worry about right now,
exactly.
right?
Yeah.
Well, Coach, appreciate you spending some time with us this morning, and looking forward to coming out on Tuesday night, weather permitting. I guess we'll say.
Yeah, true.
All right, okay. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Brian.
Sloan Starkey joining us here this morning on the Coach's Show, brought to you by Dr. Automotive, the cure for your car, professional auto repair and maintenance from ASE, certified mechanics and master mechanics, online at autorepairsmyrna.com.
Craig's Tax Service at 142 Heritage Park Drive offers complete tax preparation, financial, and bookkeeping services.
This is Brett Craig with Craig's Tax Service. From personal tax preparation to business bookkeeping, payroll, and taxes, at Craig's Tax Service, our staff is here to help.
Get help with your taxes. Call 890-2233 for an appointment.
As a former Siegel Star football player, I know the importance of the high school sports experience. Good luck to all county student athletes.
Craig's Tax Service, 890-2233.
We're at Rick's Barbecue talking with Anne-Marie Brentz, who says they're ready to feed your entire crew with the family pack.
It's a pound of pork or any of our pulled meats, and then you get two 16-ounce sides, and then you get a bag of chips, which are plain or barbecue, and then the buns come with it, and then you get one of our drink choices, which is either a 2-liter of one of our sodas or a half-gallon of one of our teas.
And don't forget the famous Rick's Loaded Baked Potato.
That's the biggest potato you can get. They're right at 2 pounds.
Let Rick's Barbecue do the cooking, 212 Warrior Drive.
In Rutherford County, you know how much it means to have neighbors you can count on. I'm State Farm Agent Bud Morris, here to help life go right when you combine home and auto insurance. Call me today at 615-893-1417.
Renters. When you combine State Farm auto and renters insurance, you will save money. I'm State Farm Agent Celeste Middleton, and I'd love to talk to you about combining your auto and renters insurance to help you save. Call me 615-895-2700.
Hi, I'm Rick Thornton, Senior Vice President and Commercial Banker at First National Bank of Middle Tennessee. If you have commercial and business financial needs, let me put my extensive experience to work for you, and you'll see why First National Bank of Middle Tennessee is the place for hometown banking. We have branches at 1708 Gateway Boulevard and 3427 Memorial Boulevard, and always online at fmbmt.com.
First National Bank of Middle Tennessee, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC, NMLS 401715.
Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance takes great pride in treating local athletes here in Rutherford County. Experts in joint, bones, and muscles. And with over 65 specialists, TOA has a playbook to get you back in the game. To request an appointment, visit TOA.com or call 855-NEED-TOA. Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. TOA. Live your best life.
Quick, convenient, efficient. 3 words that we all hope to experience when we do business. Our goal at JHA Company is to bring just that to an industry that's traditionally dictated to the customer when it's time to do business. Whether you're purchasing class pictures in a yearbook, class jewelry, a letter jacket, school spirit wear, or senior graduation products, we strive to make the experience quick, convenient, and efficient. Find out more at jhacompany.com. JHA, your one source for an unparalleled scholastic experience.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
We are back on the Coach's Show, brought to you by Middle Tennessee Electric, serving our community by providing affordable, reliable, and safe electricity. Find out more at MTE.com or download the My MTE app. We've got Bill Hockenberry, the head coach of the Rockville Lady Rockets, joining us here this morning. And, boy, it's rare that we have a Coach's Show, Bill, that we have a week that we hadn't had a whole week's worth of games to talk about.
That's true, Brian. You know, it's very rare. I think maybe, 20 years ago, I remember a week we lost from some snow, but it's very rare you don't get at least a game in a week.
And now I think it's even more difficult because we start district so much later, and, pretty much right after the second week in January, it's all district, and you don't really have a whole lot of time built in.
Absolutely. That's kind of what you get to this point in the year, and you look forward to playing district games. Fortunately for us, there's only 4 other teams in our league, so there's only a total of 8 district games. So it's not, as many as it could have been maybe in previous years. So I don't think it's going to be that hard to get all these games made up and get us back on track for the district tournament. I think that you can also, one thing, I'm going to try to talk to my team about is playing all these games. I think you can get in a better rhythm. It's not as much practice time. It's just going to be playing. And I know Coach Grandstaff a couple years ago had the COVID issue at Blackman, and they kind of got on a roll. I remember talking to her about that, and Coach Workman also over at Blackman, that you get in more of a rhythm the more you play, and I think that might help. I'm hoping that's going to help our group as we go forward in the district tournament.
Yeah, boy, you're right about them getting on a roll. I mean, they were just on fire, and you're definitely going to have to play some 3-game weeks, and that's going to feel like tournament. Really.
Absolutely, and I think for our team, especially with what we're trying to do right now, I think it's good for us to play. I think we want to get in here next couple of days. Hopefully, we can get in tomorrow and Monday and have a couple of good days of practice, and then get back out there and start gaining that. That build that momentum that we can use going forward for the next couple of weeks, and take that into the tournament play where we, hopefully we can get Kamari Murray back at that point.
Well, I know that you've rescheduled your Siegel game to Monday the 29th, and I've forgotten which other game that you still needed to reschedule.
We still have to reschedule Blackman, and our athletic directors and coaches are going to get together whenever we get back to school, either Monday or Tuesday, whatever day that is, to try to come up with that date.
Okay. So that one is still to be determined.
To be determined.
All right. So, and no more snow. We can't really handle much more.
No more snow. I think we're done with the snow. Hopefully, the snow's come and gone, and we can get ready just for some good basketball for the next month.
You know what makes that a bit of a challenge is, you haven't played some of these teams yet, and so you don't want to play somebody, twice in the same week. So,
and I think that's the challenge with the Blackman schedule right now. We're playing Siegel on the 29th. We kind of had our principals and our coaches had gotten together. We had an idea we were going to be out on that Tuesday, so we kind of looked at our schedule. That was kind of what's best for both teams. So we went ahead and scheduled the 29th game.
And that is a Monday, Friday. You do play them in the same week.
And that's just kind of the way it worked. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is. But the Blackman, if you do it the next week, we're supposed to play Blackman on Tuesday. So do you play them on the Saturday before? Do you play them back-to-back games? I don't know if that's what everybody wants to do. You play it, that Saturday at the end of that week. There's not much room for error if anything else happens. And also we're hosting the TMSAA state championship that day, so we would have to play after they got done. So as I said, there's a lot of logistics. We could play another time, but that's for next week to figure out.
Yeah, that's for another time. So, how did you handle this week with your team? I know that you obviously would have loved to have been able to practice. Not much you can do about that. I'm just curious, what did you have them do this week to just keep their mind on the game at least some?
Well, obviously, Brian, it's tough. You don't want to get kids out there. Obviously, we couldn't practice and that kind of stuff. Now, I was in communication with them all week, and I encouraged them to do things at their house, try to do some workout at their house. If they have a treadmill, get on the treadmill and try to stay in condition. If they had a place at a church that they could get some shots up, or at Sportscom or Patterson Park, if they were open, if they wanted to get up there. I know I had 4 or 5 of our kids that did get to some of those places and get some shots up on their own. But the biggest thing is get healthy. We're using this as kind of like a reset mentally, because it is a long season. I think this was a good kind of a reset for, we got a lot of young kids who haven't been playing into February and that much in the past, and so we're asking them to, some of these freshmen, sophomores, to play extended minutes. I think it's a good reset mentally for us to go on. And I know I'm talking to the kids; they're really excited to get back in the gym and get really excited about getting into district play this week.
Bill Hockenberry is with us. We're talking Rockvale Lady Rockets basketball here this morning. And you've had, and it seems like a lot of teams in our district have had to deal with the injury bug this year. And your team no different. Absolutely. And, you're missing an important cog in your team, but that means a chance for others to step up. And you've really kind of got a youth movement going on at Rockvale.
We do, Brian. It's Kamaria, she meant so much to our team, and has really for the last 3.5, 4 years. She and I think this year with her being out, I think it's a little more obvious to people what all she was doing for our program the last 3 years. But luckily we're progressing good on that. We're looking like we're going to be able to get back before the end of the year, and we just got to continue to keep hoping the rehab process goes good, and we can get her back, because not just for our program, but for her to be able to finish her senior year on the court playing. She had an injury, not the same kind of injury, but she had an injury in volleyball and didn't get to play most of her volleyball season either. So just to see her be able to finish on the court is going to be a good thing if we can get to that point. But we have had others step up. We've had a lot of, like you said, youth movement. Jade Watson is a big time talent. She's already gotten 2 offers from Belmont and Lipscomb universities. Memphis is probably on the doorstep of offering. Austin Peay's been to a lot of our stuff as well. The sky's the limit for her, and I think y'all were there the night we played Oakland. That was kind of the first time she was able to show it in front of everybody what kind of special talent she can be.
Yeah.
She has it in there. She's a team-first kid. That's what you love about her. She wants to win. She wants to get all of her teammates involved. But she has a special gift of scoring, and I think she's starting to figure out what her niche is for us, what she can do on the court, what's her strengths on the court. I think she's starting to get a little more comfortable playing a little bit off the ball. We've played her she's, for us most of the year, she's been our point guard, but we've played her a little bit since Kamari's been out, a little bit off the ball, and I think she's getting a little more comfortable with that. We've also had another freshman, Haven Harris, has really stepped up for us in the last few games. She had 14 points the other night against Westmoreland, hit 4 threes. So it was a really big piece in our comeback against Oakland. Before we got in the snow break, and I think she's going to be a big piece for us going forward as well. Just another shot maker, very confident player that they had some success at the middle school level. But again, I think this week for us, because we are playing, a lot of freshmen, and then, Kyla Crawford and Isabella Wright are sophomores, I think this reset for us is actually going to benefit us going forward.
You mentioned Harris, and that's a kid that I knew when she was very, very young, and great family.
Absolutely.
But she's had a basketball in her hand since she could even pick one up and carry it. So, that those kids are rare, and just knows what to do. It seems natural.
Absolutely.
Those have to be fun kids to coach.
Absolutely. I had called her. Her dad, Matt, was working with us for when I was at Smyrna Middle before I came to Rockville, and now to Rockville. So Haven was at our games, 7-8 years ago, and we used to always call her the future. That was what I used to always call her. There's the future right here. I was the future shooting the ball this week. So, when she got to us, I now call her the present, because we can't call her the future anymore. But it's been a blessing to have her. She is a joy to coach. She competes every day in practice, no matter which group I have her with. She's really starting to feel comfortable, and in whatever game it is, whether it's varsity, we call it varsity too. We don't really call it JV in our program because we feel like all our kids are varsity players. But she's really started to feel it, and started making shots. The other night against Westmoreland, she made 4 threes, which was, she was just feeling it. And we tried to get her more shots. And I think going forward, that's going to help us be able to space the floor a little bit more if we can make more shots with people like her.
And not just her, but others on your team. I being courtside, was able to see a lot of that, and John was doing the play-by-play in the girls' game, so I had a chance just to kind of watch and as they were checking in, they were in front of the bench, and as you were giving instruction on the floor, they weren't watching necessarily what was on the floor. They were watching what you were saying, because they knew they were coming in next, and these are freshmen.
Absolutely.
And so that's pretty special.
It is, and coachability these days, it's hard, Brian. It's a different day, and it's a me first society these days, where they want things immediately, and they don't necessarily want to buy into what the team might need. A lot of these kids come in, they want to get their name in the paper, and their name gets in the paper or on social media now by scoring points, where the reality of it is there's a lot of things that go into winning games, and whether it's a rebound, and whether it's making assists, whether it's deflections, pressure on the basketball, all those little things add up to wins. And I think our kids are starting to understand that a little bit more. And I've had a good group this year for the most part, Brian, and I'm lucky because of kids like Jade and Haven Harris, and we have another freshman, Cadence Thomas, that have really bought into that, and they buy into team, and they want to win. And I think that is part of what the culture of our program has been for the last 4 years. Is it's about winning, and whatever that means, that's what we're going to try to do that night.
Let's see, Riverdale Tuesday, Oakland Friday.
Riverdale Tuesday, Oakland Friday, so we'll get both Oakland's games in before we play either Siegel or Blackman.
That's wild. That is crazy. Well, That's this season. It's just been weird. But anyway, Bill, appreciate you coming in this morning, and let's get this rolling here again.
All right, Brian, we appreciate it. Hope to see y'all out next week.
Sounds good. That's Bill Hockenberry joining us on the Coaches Show, brought to you by Carpets by Osborne, who'd love to help you complete any job, whether it's residential or commercial. That's carpet, tile, hardwood, vinyl, rugs, and more, locally owned. That's carpet by Osborne.com. Danny Brewer coming up next in Studio B to bring you the rest of the Coaches Show.
This is a paid legal ad.
You've probably heard it a million times. If you're injured, call a lawyer. And you probably haven't, because you don't know how much it will cost, how long it will take, or even if you have a case. At the law offices of John Day, we provide a free initial consultation because we understand that folks don't want to pay a lawyer only to find out they don't have a case. If you think we can help, we do so on a contingency basis, which means we only get paid if you do. Seriously injured? Call me, John Day.
Hello, this is Coy Young at Las Casas Feed Supply. We'd like to welcome you to our door.
I'm Ian Young. I'm at Las Casas Feed Supply. I'm selling beef and pork, 100% Angus, raised here in Las Casas. Come get you some.
Everyone's favorite cuts available, even options to purchase a quarter of a steer.
We got the beef. Hello, everybody. Las Casas Feed Supply.
Family owned and operated, Las Casas Feed Supply on Barlow Lane, just off Highway 96 East.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
The Coaches Show is brought to you by JHA Company, Josh Houston and Associates, jewelry, letter jackets, yearbooks, graduation products, and more online at jhacompany.com. I'm Danny Brewer. I am extremely pleased to be joined by Siegel head basketball coach Raymond Shutt, the leader of the Lady Stars. Coach Shutt, how are you this morning?
Danny, I'm ready to get back to work, man. I'm not going to lie to you. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. You know, I've been working all week. It's been a little abbreviated, but still, it interrupts your normalcy, and I like being on a schedule of sorts and things being normal, and I know as a basketball coach, you absolutely do too.
Yes. And Dan, as we talked before, I got a lot of kids at the house, a lot of craziness. So, I think basketball, can be a little bit of some of my me time that I haven't been getting. So it's a weird deal right now.
Yes, sir, I'm sure. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about this break. Good news, bad news, no news, because you haven't been allowed to practice, correct?
Correct.
So we've got 7 days basically where everybody has been away. So it's going to be the same for all teams, I feel like, here in the county. But good news, bad news, no news, or it's a wait-and-see kind of news?
Dan, we haven't been able to develop the depth that we would have liked to by now, and that's just kind of it is what it is, and it's no secret out there. I'm not putting out any information about our team. So in a way, I can say that's good news because it's just more rest, to where, okay, well, you're not – you get a 7-day rest period or whatever it is, however long it's going to end up being to kind of refresh. Bad news is whenever that first practice is and you go and it's just like, well, what do you work on? I've been talking with some of my coaching buddies and at this point of the year, not saying that you kind of lag off on skill development, but the practices are usually, okay, you're really just game planning for your next opponent and trying to do everything you can to conserve legs. But we got to work on passing, catching. We got to work on ball handling. We got to work. Can they? We got to get some shots up. Oh yeah, and we play Blackman Tuesday. All right, we got Rockville Friday or Riverdale Friday. So that'll be interesting and kind of trying to figure out what's the best way to navigate that. So for example, right now we're scheduled to play Blackman Tuesday. We haven't played them yet. We've had more than enough time to get the scout in, and that's been good news. Is probably more prep time. But how do you go about practice? I don't want to practice anybody for 4 hours, I would lose my mind. So it's good. But, you got a lot of stuff that your conditioning is important. Like I said, passing, catching, ball handling. But what's the balance there to answer your question?
Yeah, because, no matter what, fundamentals are the key to the game, I feel like. And that's one of those things where you got to do the fundamentals right to be in any game, correct?
Correct. Yeah, and I feel like we've come far since September, October, and how much does a week off hinder that? So where it's like, okay, we got to keep going after, getting after it, and making sure we didn't lose too much of our edge.
So you're from Louisville, Kentucky.
Yep.
I'm a big horse racing guy. We're going to be horse racing buddies. We're going to be there at Churchill together come summertime. I can tell you that. I'll be there, and hopefully you'll be there too. But anyway, so we're going to talk. we're going to talk about Kentucky Derby because there's a big race today down at the fairgrounds in Louisiana, the LeCompte Stakes. It's a Kentucky Derby points qualifying race. There's a horse in there that I think can relate to Siegel girls basketball. Next Level, trained by Keith DeSormo, be ridden by David Cohen. 30-1 on the morning line, but Keith DeSormo has a great way of preparing horses and getting them ready to do the job and pull some upsets. Talk about Next Level and Siegel girls basketball. How do you get in this district that you play in? It's so tough. What do you think the key is to getting Siegel girls basketball to the next level, where you're not just showing up to play, but you're competing every night and winning ball games?
Yeah, and some of the groundwork, Dan, was laid already. I make no bones about that. Coach Shane Young did a heck of a job of just being able to where they were playing extremely hard, and you see, so they were able to win a lot of games more, or I would say a lot, just more than normal at Siegel. So and you had most of the core that was back. Some girls decided to leave, but it is what it is. But I would say just, we're like, we recently played Oakland. We're up 2 at halftime. We defend really well at a really high level. Just couldn't, whether it was turnovers, whether it was, just shot selection wasn't great. It really is just the minute details that, I was really pleased with how we guarded against Oakland. However, going back and watching the film, since I've had 18,000 days off, what it feels like in a row, you see some things that, man, like if we just decide to go for that ball, if we just decide to execute here and not turn it over and do some things that we're coached to do, I really think that's what it is. Because we are right there in a lot of games, and some of the close ones we won, and some of them, Mr. Creasy asked me earlier in the year, like, how many 1-point ball games have you been in? And it is, and that's that. But honestly, that's been a real testament to how for the girls and how well they've been able to stay in games. Because and like kind of how what you were mentioning earlier is we've taken a step in one regard. What we like to we don't just want to stay here. I told them the other day, people come and talk to me and they'll say, and coach, because I think they were just trying to make me feel better after the Oakland game, and because that was a tough loss, and they say things like, coach, this is the best Siegel's been, and you're doing such a great job, and I appreciate all that, Danny, I really do, but when it doesn't result in a win, it's still very frustrating, because I know the girls deserve to, like you said, go to that next level, and it really is just a play or two there, and they never said, it seems when I'm talking to them about deciding to go rebound, deciding to take a charge or whatever the next play is, it is really nitpicky, and I've told them that. However, when you're playing a game to let's see, Oakland beat us 42-36. When you're playing a game to 42, every possession is that important.
Right, no doubt about it. And of course, Oakland, is one of the bell cow programs of the district. I mean, let's just be honest. Of course, they have their up and down sometimes too, but over the course of Rutherford County, Oakland girls basketball has always been good. So obviously you are, because I saw the score of the game, I thought, whoa, all right. Because I think that you are taking the steps to get to that next level. And there was a couple girls, I think, that played really well in that game. Secret Grissom and maybe Issy Hodge. Talk a little bit about those girls and what they've done for the program and where they're at right now.
Yeah, so Secret Grissom, senior, she's just kind of been our consistent, double-double. She's just extremely – she's undersized big, but she's super strong, and don't get me wrong, athleticism is very important when it comes to basketball. But – if she was here, I'd tell you the same thing. She doesn't get that high off the ground, but she's one of those offensive rebounders that if you're on defense, you don't want to box her out because she's so good at being able to get position. And, she probably averages 8 rebounds a game. I think 5 or 6 of those are offensive. So she's just been really good at keeping possessions alive for us. I will say that, we've talked to her a lot about probably being she needs to be a little bit more selfish because a lot of times when she does get offensive rebound, she'll kick it out. I'm like, no, you're right down there. Just score the ball. But she's a great teammate, great leader. We played a game against Gallatin where we were winning the entire game earlier in the year. They hit a crazy 3 at the buzzer to send it to overtime. And before I can get to the huddle, she's in our huddle just saying, hey, we're good. We got it, and just great senior leadership. Izzy Hodge has probably been the player I've been asked most about just because she's really fun to watch. She's really fun to coach. She's really good ball handler. Sometimes, we'll run a press offense and sometimes it breaks down and she just goes and makes plays. Her best game this year was probably we got up big at Upperman, and I think she had 22 there and just played really well. She's been up and down. She didn't have a great Christmas break, but she's kind of snapped out of that funk. Got just a complete workhorse. She'll coach, can I come an hour early? Coach, can I stay an hour? And I have a hard time telling her no. So, she kind of worked her way out of that slump that she was in. So I was really, even though we lost, I was really pleased to see her kind of break out of that slump against Oakland.
Very good, Coach, and those are the kind of players that you want. Now, I was told to ask you about this. What about the reindeer games that's been going on? Tell me about the reindeer games.
I don't know what you're talking about, Danny. I think Christmas is over, and it's time to. It is time to focus on Siegel girls basketball. I think that's what the reindeer games. That sounds like something back in December. New year, new us.
There you go, New Year, new us. I love that. And I tell you what, there is a new us with the Siegel Lady Stars over there. Get over there and watch them play. Coach Raymond Schutt's doing a fantastic job. He's brought a winning mentality to that program. Coach, congratulations on what you've done so far, and we certainly wish you the best of luck as we move forward.
Danny, I appreciate your time, buddy.
Yes, sir. The Coaches Show is brought to you by Edward Jones financial advisor Lee Colvin, who will work with you to develop a complete, tailored strategy to help you achieve your financial goals. That's Edward Jones financial advisor Lee Colvin.
Life changes, then it changes again. Hi, I'm Edward Jones financial advisor Lee Colvin. A job loss, change in health, or loss of a loved one can have a big impact on your family's financial security. Let's work together to help make sure that you're equipped for life's unexpected events. Stop by our office in the Public Shopping Center on South Rutherford Boulevard or give us a call at 615-907-7056 for an appointment. Edward Jones, Making Sense of Investing, member SIPC.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air.
Whether it's the blazing heat of summer or the bitter cold of winter, let the Rheem Pro professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Conditioning on West College Street keep your home or business comfortable year-round. We service all major brands and in most cases offer same-day service. Call us today at 615-890-1311. Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, your Ring Pro partner heating and cooling contractor on West College Street, just under the Thompson Lane overpass.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
The Coaches Show is brought to you by Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance, TOA, the largest and most comprehensive orthopedic surgery group in Middle Tennessee. Find out more at TOA.com. I'm Danny Brewer. It's a glorious morning, and I'm happy to be joined now by Eagleville girls head basketball coach Chris Lynch. Coach Lynch, how are we this morning?
Doing pretty good. A lot of snow, so a lot of cold.
Yeah, you know, the thing about it is the good news about basketball is usually it kind of warms you up, you know, even though it's cold outside, you go in the warm gym, you know, and all that kind of stuff. So cold weather is part of high school basketball season, but this has been a little ridiculous, hasn't it, Coach?
I don't remember it being like this in several years. So, you know, missing a whole week, and we already have 3 games to make up, and really not sure about Monday. So we'll just have to keep waiting, I guess.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about the break here, because I guess if I'm correct, you guys have not been allowed to practice either this week. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. So when we think about being away from basketball completely for 7 days, or at least 7 days during, you know, kind of the heart of the season, you know, I guess it's going to be the same for everybody, but your thoughts on that? Good news, bad news, no news, I guess, or is it a wait-and-see kind of news?
Well, I felt like we were playing pretty good until the last 3 games, and, you know, so maybe a break right now is not the worst thing. And, you know, I think it's the same for most people. I know a couple of teams in our district have been practicing. They have different rules than we do, but, you know, we'll get back at it for sure on, well, I'm not going to say for sure anything, but probably Monday, and, you know, we'll kind of see where we go from there.
Yeah, because, you know, that's a good point that you make. You know, I hate to compare your team to my golf game, because my golf game is not, you know, but sometimes that break, I play better. Whenever I have a little break, I come in, I come refreshed, renewed. Sometimes you're re-energized. You try to, you know, I don't know about reinvent yourself, but you maybe refocus. So perhaps that could be the case with your team?
Yeah, it could be. I mean, you know, the season seems to be a grind, and so, you know, it's probably good to have a little break sometimes. I didn't really want a week off, but, you know, it'll be about the same for everybody. So I think it'll be fine. And, you know, it's not like we're going to forget all our plays and all that stuff. Our shot may be a little off, but I think everybody's will be a little bit off. And so you just kind of play with it and, you know, see how we're doing.
That's all you can do. Okay, so let's kind of talk a little bit about, do you have any kids that are maybe a little dinged up injury-wise? Because it could be good for them to have some time off. Could that be a factor for you at all?
Well, you know, everybody's got dinged up, some injuries here and there that are sore. So, you know, I'm sure, knowing most of my girls, they've been out sledding, and I'm sure they haven't taken it easy. So, you know, we come back and have some, you know, some bruises and probably soreness from that too. So I guess they'll kind of cancel that out. Over the last couple of times we've spoken, you know, we've had two girls get recognized as 1,000-point scorers, and Brindley Bain is 9 points away. So it's possible that we may have Eliza McLaren, Isabella Sawyer, and Brindley Bain, all 3 get their 1,000-point this year. And so that's something that, you know, has been exciting. And, you know, we've been scoring points and trying to hold people low and stuff like that. So it's been, you know, we've had some exciting things go on. And, just been really proud of those three girls and the teammates around them that helped them get that achievement. So that's been, something. We went about probably 7 years without having a 1,000-point score. So, to have three in one season is something that those girls are proud of, and they should be.
Oh, absolutely right. And you should be proud of that as a coach, because when you think about what it takes to score 1,000 points in high school basketball, I mean, that's no small feat. And that kind of leads into the next thing that I want to talk about, which is your team growth. Obviously, if you've got 3,000-point scorers, and if she's only 9 points away, hopefully, surely to goodness, she's going to get there. When you think about 3,000-point scorers on the same team, talk about the growth that this unit has had to achieve something like that.
Yeah. The Eliza and Isabella are seniors and Brindley's a junior, but they've all started for, they've started for 4 years, and, like this year, they're averaging right there 13 points a game, all three of them. So, which makes it really nice. And then also here lately, Shelby Mooneyham's been our leading scorer, and I looked over the last 5 games, she's averaging 10 points a game. So when we start getting scoring from multiple people, I think it's harder to, scout a game and come in and say, hey, we're going to stop this girl, but then you've got these girls too. So, and so that's been a nice option. And also Mia Thompson's come in, and she's hit double digits several times this year. So that gives us a fifth option. And, but then, like I said, this break came up, and we may forget how to shoot the ball. I don't really know, but I'm hoping they come back ready and, fired up about it.
When you talk about having that kind of depth scoring-wise, yes, that's great for you as a coach, but also that kind of lends to that growth as a team, because you're sharing the basketball, because it's kind of, it could be anybody's night or multiple girls' night on any given game, right?
Yeah, that's true. And I also looked our on the season as a team, we're averaging more assists than turnovers, and it's rare sometimes to have several people with a positive assist to turnover ratio, but for a team stat, I don't believe I've ever had a team that did that. So that does mean that, they're being unselfish and they're spreading the ball around and, trying to get the best shot, which is kind of what we hopefully we do a lot, but, those stats are pretty good.
Coach, what you're telling me, I think record, is it 6-8 right now? Is that accurate with what your one-loss record is right now?
No, we are 11 and maybe 11-8.
11-8. Okay, so 11-8. Wow. Well, I looked at Max Preps before the show, and they had 6-8. So obviously they are not correct. 11-8, fantastic. But what it sounds like to me is, basketball's a tournament sport, and it sounds like you've got the pieces to kind of make something happen in the postseason when you talk about all these multiple girls that can score, the assist-to-turnover ratio, all that kind of stuff. So you've got to be excited about that going forward.
Yeah, we lost our last 3 games. We went to Moore County and lost by 3, and then we went to Cascade and lost in overtime, and then we hosted Huntland and lost by 2, and Moore County and Huntland are district teams, so we've lost by 3 and 2. We were supposed to have Fayetteville City last night, but now that'll be on Tuesday. So, that we're right there, and those teams are really good. So I feel like we're a good team too, but the rest of our district is too. So postseason and the district tournament ought to be really good.
Certainly, and I mean, this as well as anybody, being the veteran leader that you are. When it gets to the postseason, everybody's 0-0. So you just want to be playing your good basketball at that point in time. So coming up, let's talk about what you got coming up this week. Obviously, you think you're going to have a game Tuesday night?
I think we'll go to Fayetteville City Tuesday night. That's the rescheduled game. And then Moore County comes to Eagleville on Friday. So, yeah. Those would be, two huge district matchups.
And that's great for you guys. So hopefully you can come back hot. The last thing I want to talk about is the growth we talked about the growth on your team. How about the growth in the Eagleville community as far as just what's going on in that community? I know more people are moving in, that kind of stuff. Is that good for Eagleville School as far as, obviously it has to be because you got more kids to choose from?
Yeah. It has its pros and cons, and, we've grown, and we were up to 440 students when Blackman opened up, and that knocked a lot of our enrollment down, and then our enrollment got up close to 400 again, and Rockville opened up. And so right now we're around 320, and, there's growth, and plus they rezone things a lot, so, we get kids sometimes through that, and like you said, from people moving in, so I just, with growth comes change, and sometimes change is good, sometimes it's not. And, I feel like we have, a good little community and, there's low crime, and there's, just good things that being small is easier to maintain. When you get bigger, it's just growth, that happens. So it kind of is taking good with the bad, I guess.
As a Smyrna boy, believe me, I can certainly agree with you on all of those statements right there. But I can tell you right now, one of the good things that's happening out there in Eagleville is the job that Chris Lynch is doing with those Lady Eagles. He is flat on it. If you want to see some good basketball, head out there to Eagleville School. They got a wonderful gym, wonderful facility, and it sounds like you can get the chance to see another 1,000-point score. Coach Chris Lynch, we appreciate your time, and we certainly wish you the best of luck.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Okay, the Coaches Show is brought to you by Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, family-owned and operated since 1977. Get the best service with Prentice Allsup Heating and Air online at PrenticeAllsup.com.
Finding that missing shin guard, remembering whether it's a home or away game, getting the right kid to the right playing field on the right day. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. We work with independent agents who keep insurance simple so you can worry about more important things, like not being that fan.
Oh, come on, ref!
That's simple human sense.
Rayburn Insurance in Smyrna.
Come see me, Rick Hall, at Rayburn Insurance in downtown Smyrna today.
Head over to J. Mullins Jewelry to check out their selection of rings, watches, custom design jewelry, and much more. They're a local business located at 352 West Northville Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro. They have gifts for all occasions, weddings, graduations, anniversaries, whatever you need, you can find it at J. Mullins Jewelry. That's at 352 West Northville Boulevard or online at mullinsjewelry.com.
It's time to talk MTCS sports. It's Cougar Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro.
Presented by Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. TOA, live your best life. Online at TOA.com.
We're joined by Middle Tennessee Christian School coaches to talk about their most recent games and their upcoming opponents. It's time to talk orange and white on MTCS Cougar Corner.
Welcome to the Cougar Corner. I'm Danny Brewer. I am extremely pleased to be joined right now by Middle Tennessee Christian School head girls basketball coach Hannah Jones. Coach Jones, how are you this morning?
Doing great. How are you guys?
I'm quite well. Is that some coffee, the brewing back there in the background I'm smelling?
Always.
That girl. So let's talk about the weather, because that's what everybody's talking about right now. Obviously, had a break. Now, could you girls could you practice this week at all, or was everything shut down for you as well? Because I know public schools were.
Yeah, everything was pretty much shut down. It was optional if you could get out, if you could get to the gym, is the way I made it, just to be safe. So when we could get in a couple of times, but it was optional. And yesterday definitely was way too icy around the gym. So this weekend I'm excited to see some sunshine, and we should be able to get a good practice in.
Okay, so this break that you have, it kind of comes at a point in time, in the midst of the season. And this is something I've asked other coaches this morning too. Good news, bad news, no news, wait and see news. I guess it's too early to tell. Or what's your thoughts on this having a break like this right in the heart of the season?
I mean, it is what it is. We can only control what we can control, and we have moved. So last week we were supposed to have 2 games, and we have rescheduled them to this upcoming week. So we're going to have 4 games in 1 week, and that's just kind of what's going to happen. So we'll play back-to-back Monday, Tuesday, have a break in between on Wednesday, and then play Thursday, Friday. So it's a full week, lots of games. It'll be just a challenge and to manage, just making sure that we're focused and not overdoing ourselves, and just executing and being sharp with 4 games in 1 week. But that's why you play, like I stacked our schedule in the beginning with 3 games a week, and then you do these Christmas tournaments where you play back-to-back games. So I'm confident in our girls that they are mentally prepared for a big week like this, but it's just making sure that we rest, we hydrate, we eat right, and all those little things that are within your control to set yourself up for a really tough week.
The depth that you have, let's talk a little bit about your roster depth. Obviously, this 4 games in 5 days will test your depth. Talk about the depth you have.
So in our rotation, we basically play 6, maybe 7, but our core 5 are averaging, I think, upwards of like 29 to 30 minutes a game. So they are well conditioned.
Needless to say.
Yeah, so that's what I think is another kind of edge for us, is that those main players have been playing those major minutes. They are in shape, and they understand the strain. They understand that you're going to make mistakes, but they know how to play through them. A lot of times fatigue and mental errors come from just being tired like that. So I think that they understand it. They've had a lot of experience handling those types of minutes and handling that length and that endurance. So I'm really confident in our girls.
What's the record of Middle Tennessee Christian right now, Coach?
We are 8-9, I believe.
8-9, but you've had a very tough schedule. Am I correct about that?
Yes, we did. We opened up. We opened up with Baylor, who we beat, and then we played Father Ryan and then Cookeville. So 2 of top teams in their respective leagues, and Cookeville is obviously a very big school. And then we went back and played Baylor again. That was our last game before the snow. We kind of did a home and home. And we ended up losing by 3 at their place. So very tough. And they played very well. And I think that we really did a good job too, as well, and learned a lot. We're executing better on offense, executing better on defense. But obviously, it was a tight game. And then they ended up hitting a tough 3 at the end, and we got 2 wide open shots at the end as well to tie it and just couldn't put it in. So it was a good game, that last game that we fell to Baylor.
So, Coach, I'm a big horse racing guy, and today on the road to the Kentucky Oaks, there's a race down at the fairgrounds in New Orleans, the Silver Bullet Day, and there's a horse in there that kind of I can compare to your schedule. No risk it, no biscuit. Trained by my buddy Tom Amos. So that's kind of your schedule, right? I mean, if you're not risking, then if you ain't going to risk it, then you can't get the biscuit, right?
Right, and I think that when you play great teams and great players and teams that are really well coached and they have a lot of talent, then you're seeing it's a mirror. It's like where we want to be, where we want to go, how are we going to challenge, how are we going to grow our team, how are we going to learn. I think when you're young and small, that learning and putting your, to mature quicker, I think you got to put them in times of adversity. So that's what we're doing, because the end game is to just make sure we're doing the best that we can. And so why would we not play the best that we can? And so that's kind of why we do things like that.
Which I think, if memory serves me correctly, you folks have been pretty good the last couple of years. Your tenure has been decorated with lots of wins and lots of big performances. So I think the no risk it, no biscuit kind of applies. She's 12-1 on the morning line, by the way. So we may have to get us a ticket on no risk it, no biscuit in your honor, Coach Jones. Okay.
There we go.
So let's talk a little bit about your roster and talk about the growth that you've seen from some of these players throughout this gauntlet that you've been through as a schedule.
Yeah, our majority, we have 3 players that are in double digits right now, and they are all sophomores. And Anna Clay Shirley is primarily handling the ball for us, and that's really not her position. But she has grown so much in that role and learning how to move better off the ball and just being able to constantly hunt her shot because she is a big offensive threat. And then she also brings a great rebounding game. And then her and another sophomore, Ashley Rucker, just a strong driver, very dynamic, kind of Swiss Army knife. I put her in a lot of different positions, and she handles it really, really well. I want to continue to put her in different positions because I think she is very dynamic, and she will be tough to guard in the paint and from the perimeter. And then we've got another sophomore, Maddie Graham, who's the other double-digit averaging scorer right now. And she is constantly moving. She has a high motor. She's always hunting her shot. She's trying to reach that 40% three-point shooting percentage, and just her footwork and quick release is really, really a great threat to have. And then our other 2 starters are seniors, and they do an excellent job being glue players on defense. And so we chart these things called passion plays, and the 2 seniors pretty much lead those passion plays. So it's like the 50-50 balls and the steals and getting charges or just making those cuts that lead to a score. So a cut assist, a screen assist, the energy that they bring, the deflections on defense. It's just the little things that maybe they don't get the points on in the stat sheet, but they are creating and they are locking it up when we need them to. Those defensive rebounds that they're getting and those strong box outs, they lead to the transition. That's what starts our offense when we're not getting going on offense. So that's kind of those starting 5 right there are the core group, and I think they do a fantastic job. And they're growing too. Like we weren't perfect in the beginning. I don't think we've reached our peak yet either. And we've added we've pulled up an 8th grader. We've got another sophomore who comes off the bench. And I'm just really excited about these girls. So through injuries, through being thin, being small, these girls have really all come together and are constantly coachable. They respond in film, and they're adapting every single game. So that's all I can ask for.
Coach, you used a term that is really cool, Swiss Army knife. Now, what coach wouldn't want a Swiss Army knife, on their roster? Now, is that something, did you kind of cultivate this Swiss Army knife, or is that just what she is and you're just kind of utilizing her? Because that's one of those things where sometimes having a player like that can be fantastic. They can do multiple things.
I think Ashley Rucker has not even, that Swiss Army knife, but I throw her in to run the 1. I'll put her in at the wing. I'll put her in at the 5. So that's what's kind of cool about high school is you never know, or you can't in college, you're getting these kids and you're going out and you're finding the kids that fit your specific style. Like the college coaches, they all have very specific styles. And like last night we were watching our former MTCS player Jalen Blanks play Drake last night, and Drake, their style is very fast, high possession count, and so then they can kind of get kids to that level. So in high school, you don't know who you're going to get. It's whoever's in your school and who you've got. So you're playing to strengths, and it's a really creative process as a coach. And I think Ashley Rucker is constantly working on being dynamic. She's tall, she's strong, she can handle, she can shoot, she is athletic on defense, and there's so many ways. So I got to make sure that I continue to just put her in the places where she can be successful. And I don't even think she's scratched the surface of what she can do on the court.
Is that one of the things that you enjoy about coaching high school basketball? Because you hit the nail on the head. You can't recruit to your program. You have to develop your program to to the pieces to the puzzle that you have.
Yeah, and I really admire a lot of coaches in our area or just around the country in high school that develop these kids in such a short amount of time to what works best for them, and then they're really successful. So I think that not only understanding the strengths of your team, but understanding their character and understanding what motivates them, I think is really important as well. So getting not only them in the right places, but encouraging them to believe in themselves to do that, I think is a huge, another just like emotional intelligence piece that's really challenging. But it is fun. I enjoy it a lot.
Is being at Middle Tennessee Christian really good for you from that aspect? Because I know it's a smaller setting and you have a smaller pool, but maybe that's not always a bad thing?
No, I don't think so at all. I think anywhere you go, you like I said earlier, you can only control what you control. Like, you can't control the weather, you can't control the refs, you can't control just what goes on most of the time. But I can look at these girls and I can talk to them about who they are, what motivates them, put them through things on the court and see where they function best. I love watching film, and I think that helping teach them how to watch film, helping teach them how to grow their game and be specific. And they need to know their weak points too, but you want to maximize their potential. So I think with all those different things that I'm trying to do now, is it perfect all the time? No. And I will always watch other coaches. And if something that they're doing is better and I think that can apply to our girls, I'm going to totally apply it to our team. But it is very fun. It's very creative. And I think that if you're ever in a job that does that for you, I think you're in the right business. So it's very fun.
Because one of the keys to improving and always getting better is understanding that you can always learn, right?
Absolutely. I think leaders are definitely learners.
Leaders are learners. You're absolutely right. So let's talk a little bit about learning, because I need you to teach me a little bit. We both love the culinary arts. We like to cook. We like to eat, all that kind of stuff. What do we got cooking today on this cold day? You got any plans, or do y'all have practice today, or kind of what's going on culinarily at the Jones household?
Well, with the team, we do have practice today, and I am excited to hopefully get everyone there because we haven't had a full practice due to the weather. And I'm excited to get everyone there and prepare. We've got 2 days for this 4-game week, really just make sure we get our legs under us. I know a lot of people probably have been doing puzzles and sledding and all the things, so let's get back under us. We did probably get some team film in again. But with 4 teams in 1 week, I think that we'll just focus on us, back to our basic, what we're going to be doing in our man defense, any slight adjustments, but really just focusing on us and honing in. I love where our offense is gelling right now, and maybe add a wrinkle or two. I don't know. I think just focusing on us. So, yes, practice today, practice tomorrow. Then we'll get after it for a 4-game week.
So it sounds like what we're cooking with the Lady Cougars is we're going to cook like a steak. We're going to do it like a quick cook, something like that. We're going to get the grill real good and hot, and then we're just going to sear us a steak on there, because you don't have time to do any slow cooking because you got 4 games this coming week.
Yeah, we'll keep it lean, and we'll just focus on us.
Now, talk about the offense. You mentioned something about the offense. As far as the versatility you have offensively, because you talked about your Swiss Army knife and those kind of things, is that something that you like about this team, is the versatility of different things you can do offensively?
Oh, yeah, and how we can place them in transition, in the middle third, in the outer third. How do we get just people in the right spots? So, yes, and I love it. I think that the girls they're moving better without the ball, and I think that when we hunt the paint, when we attack the paint, it's just going to open up those inside out looks for our really great shooters. I think Ashley and Riley do a fantastic job when we pull shots. Like, they go and they crash. They're our 2 leading rebounders. I think Lindsay, she has been our best backdoor passer and just finding people in ways that just where they just start to play. So really, we just give them, hey, this is the area when it enters in here when we do this, or we're in this situation. What's like your number one key here is we're catching eyes on the rim. We're looking to attack the paint. How can you continue to hunt your shot? When she catches here, what are we looking at? Reading the first layer of defense, the second layer of defense. It's those same things over and over and over again until it just becomes second nature. We don't have to call a thing. And once it's player-led, we're rolling.
Oh, that's fantastic. So it's almost like that crock pot roast you got, where you got your potatoes, you got your carrots, you got your celery. So sometimes you're the carrot, sometimes you're the potato, sometimes you're the celery, and sometimes you're the roast, right?
Yeah, and you got a lot of different things, but they're consistent, and you know that you can rely on them.
Is that been one of the things that kind of can be especially rewarding for you as a cook and a coach when you put this stuff together, when you're cooking it all up there, Coach, and you put all these things together and you can just sit back and the ingredients kind of take over? Fun for you?
Guys, I mean, when we played at Baylor, we lost, but it was a fantastic game, and it's a great film game too for us to learn from. I got chills at some of the passes the girls were making to each other. The assists were beautiful. The way that they were moving off each other, and that was totally just them playing, them finding each other, being great teammates. So I got chills, and that was really, really fun.
When you get chills as a coach, I mean, it's like this is fantastic. Like you said, you're in the right business.
Yes.
Okay, Coach. So we know we got a big week coming up. Anything in particular that you want to see from your team as they continue to grow, or is it just let's be the best Lady Cougars that we can be every night?
Always be the best that we can be every night, but I really, really want to challenge them to keep up that assist game that they've been improving on, like the way that they're finding each other, and the spacing that we've got going on. I really, really love it. I love seeing them pour into each other. Like, even if someone makes a mistake or they make a turnover or they miss a bad shot, maybe that was a good shot versus a great shot, or like they're going to make mistakes. They're high school kids. We got 4 games this week. You're going to get tired. You're going to make a mistake. Just understanding that and having the resiliency and that servant leadership to just pour into your teammate and be like, nah, we're good. We got that. And that's something we clip too, is we show them on film, like, hey, we had this one player, she turned it over, and we immediately had 2 players go up. You know what? We got this. Let's go. Like, it was a dead ball. There was a time to do that, a time and place. So I love that, and I want to see more of that from them.
When you talk about the assists, sometimes folks get too caught up in who puts it in the basket, but there's always those dynamics that are involved with getting that shot and getting that good shot and putting it in. That's something obviously that can be rewarding to you. And is that something that you stress on is about everybody doing their job?
I mean, you have to. Yes, you obviously have to score one more point than the other team to win. But at the end of the day, one person can't do it all. And I think that the way that we can continue to be successful and really break through and beat teams that maybe look taller, faster, stronger than us, or they're older, they're more mature, whatever that we're up against, is they know they can rely on that teammate, and they know where they're going to be at this time. And even when you do make a mistake like that, it doesn't matter. We have the next play mentality. And so that's super important. We got to have it. And I think we're gelling in that right direction.
Coach, we certainly wish you the best of luck, and we appreciate your time. Hopefully I'm going to come and see the Lady Cougars this Friday night. I hope to honor Eli Wilson, the football player, this Friday night. I'm trying to get things worked out with Coach Peterson, where we'll be there, and I'm going to present a trophy to Eli Wilson because of the fantastic.
That's amazing.
That's a fantastic job he had. So we're trying to get that worked out. And so hopefully I'll be there Friday night, and me and you can slap high fives. We can trade some recipes or whatever, and maybe I can bring you a little bit of money from that no risk it, no biscuit ticket too. Okay, that's what we're hoping. So that's Coach Hannah Jones. If you want to see some good basketball and you really want to see a show, because they got a great facility over there at Middle Tennessee Christian School too. Get over there, see the Lady Cougars. Coach Hannah Jones, we certainly appreciate your time and certainly wish you the best of luck.
Thank you so much.
Coach Jones, that'll wrap up the Cougar Corner. Appreciate it, and we'll see you next time.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
Middle Tennessee Christian School, training for eternity.
We're going to be an educational institution that teach Bible every day. Every subject we teach, we're going to teach through a biblical perspective. In every aspect of our school, we're going to do it through a Christian perspective.
MTCS President Matt Tiller.
That also means that everything we do, we have to be excellent. We feel like Christ calls us to excellence. And so that means we have to be excellent academically. That means we have to be excellent athletically, because that's what God calls us to. It's a great place to be.
Invest in your child's future in an environment that fosters Christ-centered values. To find out more, visit mtcscougars.org. Dr. Russell McKissick of Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance talks about the grassroots effort in our local schools to ensure proper care for players.
To make sure our teams are covered here locally, be there for our trainers. Yeah, it's a passion that we have to try to take care of our athletes here in town and be there just to keep everybody playing as healthy and as best they can.
From a community standpoint, one of the most important things you do at TOA, I'd guess.
I think it's definitely a way to pay back to our community, just to be there for them and watch some great sports too.
Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance, TOA, live your best life.
Middle Tennessee Christian School, training for eternity.
The large majority of our kids are involved in athletics or extracurricular activities, one or the other, and most are doing multiple activities.
MTCS President Matt Tiller.
And that's a great preparation for life. How many of us in our life are just doing one thing? So a well-rounded student is a huge deal.
Invest in your child's future in a Christ-centered environment with many athletic and extracurricular choices.
Without a doubt, our students have the opportunity to be involved in multiple activities.
To find out more, visit mtcscougars.org.
It's MTCS Cougar Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro.
Presented by Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. TOA, live your best life. Online at TOA.com.
On FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
Back to wrap up our coaches' conversation here this morning, and our thanks to all the coaches who braved the morning to be with us here on WGNS and Primetime Sports on both the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner and Cougar Corner here today. As we take a look at our Cougar Corner scoreboard, not a whole lot to go over here this week. I can tell you that the Cougar Cub games today and the JV boys and varsity boys game today canceled, okay? This is off of mtcsports.com. So those canceled. So the next action here coming up next week is scheduled for Monday, and MTCS will be hosting Columbia Academy for JV boys, and boys middle school JV will travel to Friendship, and at 6 o'clock, girls varsity will be playing Columbia Academy at MTCS. Middle school will be at Friendship in girls at 6:30, and boys at 7:30. Boys varsity playing Columbia Academy too, and that'll be at 7:30 at MTCS. On Tuesday, the varsity teams will travel to Battleground Academy. Girls at 6, boys at 7:30. JV boys will be playing at 4:30. And on Wednesday, it's middle school, girls and boys at Webb School in Bell Buckle. On Thursday, boys junior varsity versus PCA. And then girls will be playing at 6 o'clock on Thursday. Friday, you've got, let's see, the Cougar Cubs at 4:30 at Christian Community School. And then all of this at Middle Tennessee Christian School. You've got boys junior varsity taking on Franklin Road Academy at 4:30. At 6:30, the girls varsity game, and then at 8 o'clock, the boys varsity game. So that's a look at the week ahead. And also just wanted to make sure that you're aware the James C. Hale tournament has had to undergo lots of changes. It's probably one of the toughest weeks in terms of losing games and such. So that, especially in recent memory. So James C. Hale, HAILE.com. James C. Hale, HAILE.com. The brackets updated there, and they've got all of that going. So be sure to check that out for the 50th year of the James C. Hale tournament. I'll get those games going soon. All right. Well, that is a look at your Cougar Corner schedule and scoreboard. Thank you so much for being with us today. Don't forget Lady Raider Hoops at 1:30 airtime today, and the men at 7:30 airtime this evening. New Mexico State, the opponent. Lady Raiders at home, the men on the road. And then back at high school action next week here on WGNS. Check WGNS Sports for the latest. Our Tuesday broadcast plan is Stewart's Creek versus Smyrna. All right. Have a great day. Stay warm. And we've got relief on the way next week. So looking forward to that. For my broadcast partner, John Dinkins, and also Danny Brewer this morning, appreciate their hosting efforts today. Our producer, Dalton Barrett. I'm Brian Barrett. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you back here next time for another edition of the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner and MTCS Cougar Corner.